Hello. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Gotta get that thrown back there. But welcome once again to Lance and Gin. I am again Lance Icarus, your successful speedrunner from yesterday. That was an incredible stream, by the way, yesterday. I'll have the VOD up on our YouTube channel. I'll have the VOD up on our YouTube channel in about a week here, but you really ought to go check that out. The speedrun me and Slush had was incredible. And I am yelling because this is very loud in my ears. Oh wait, that's just gonna stay that way. Hold on, we're gonna mute that for a second because I just want to tell you real fast. Yeah, we had an incredible freaking night last night. Oh my god, that was a lot of fun. We did a speedruns of Astrobot. That was just like, holy crap. We were Slushy played the kazoo. That definitely happened. That was a real thing that happened. I had no idea it was gonna be a thing. There we go. Now it's better in my ears. But yeah, we did speedrunning. We had the number 3 in the freaking world for that level in the chat, coaching us along. We had people in the chat speedrunning along with us. There was throat chills and spills, lead changes back and forth. I highly recommend you go check out that stream. But maybe you're already here for that stream. Maybe you're thinking, what's in the future? Well, we're going to be playing some more stories from Soul the Gundog tonight. But after that, next week, next Saturday, as a matter of fact, me and Gin will be doing a charity stream. We will be working with the Cookie Brigade and Fred Hutch. Yep, that same Fred Hutch from last time. We'll be working together again to raise money for the Fred Hutch Cancer Center. So that, they can, do, like, amazing things. Like, cure cancer. And let's just throw that out there. Why not? Why not? Why not? But the thing about it, you saw Mia settling back there. Yes, I have both kitties here with me. They are very confused about the things I am doing. But yes, F cancer, always. But most of all, we'll be working with the Cookie Brigade, and me and Gin will be playing Overcooked 2 together. If you've seen us play Overcooked before, you know. Oh, you know. Yeah, when we play Overcooked, it gets crazy up in here. So, you're going to have to keep that in mind. And definitely make it put on your calendar for Saturday. I'll be releasing times and scheduling next week. We have, like, one last thing to finalize this week. Getting the Tiltify page up and all that. But we'll be posting about that when we got it. Be like first thing Monday, I think. We get all that figured out. But yes. And I know there's also like prizes and stuff or hitting certain goals and things like that. But y'all are incredible already. It is a good night. Yes, you have entered at a great time, Rand Davis. Yes, the kitties are here. The stream will be our first charity stream of the year will be happening on Saturday. Sorry, next Saturday, not tomorrow. Next Saturday, March 22nd. In the evening. Oh, hello. Baby girl, hello. Stop by Winco after errands. Yeah, apple pie. Yes, pie's in chat. For those celebrating Pie Day. Hi, baby girl. Oh, she's trying to lay down. But yeah, you might even notice that I have things a little different here. The chat looks a little different. We got little different looks here and there. We have this cat staring directly at my face. And I'm losing my concentration. She's like digging into my leg, trying to make enough room to settle in. but it's you who should be settling in tonight, because we are about to start Gundog. If I have any more announcements, I'll let you know about it when we get there. So, we'll be starting off where we left off. Oh my god. There. My hair is driving me freaking crazy right now. Point is, if you remember the last time on Gundog Z, we were introduced to the crew, our girlfriend Cassie, and everyone. We went to the cockpit. The captain was in her quarters, recovering or resting. Which left Vanessa and Cass to call out to the other ship that we were sent out to go find. But then something big happened that knocked out our girlfriend and all the power on the ship. We got in a little bit of a tiff with Vanessa Lord. Vanessa. Actually, I'll just keep it right here. Yes, for Vanessa, we will be looking more into the Vanessa Lord Memorial Airlock. Yes, and I had to go walk in the silence of space. We all love it. Oh my god, what did my hair do? Do you freaking... What is up with my freaking hair? Hi. I have chocobo in my own head. I gotta fix that nonsense. I get all pretty again. Alright. Now I'm not distracted by my own head. Yes, we had to go in the airlock so we can go into the other part of the ship, get the tool from crap, what was his name? Function. Info. That doesn't help. I had to go get a key card. A little like key reader thing to help open up these doors. So now our current objective is we're about to go open up the captain's door because we need to get the codes in order to reboot the ship. So how about we go ahead and do that? We have our portable terminal. Do I have to engage with the captain's quarters? Stand outside the captain's quarters, you look at the heavy device in your hand. It's taken longer than you'd like to get here, but at least now you can get those codes from the captain. Okay, so first got to the PST, that's right, bam. Kneel down by the terminal to the side of the door, laying the PST on the ground and unclipping the catches that hold the front of the unit closed. It's like an attaché case. And after it all starts up, you swiftly draw out the cable and connect it to the terminal's underside. Squinting at the screen's phosphorus glow in the low light, you scroll your way through the series of menus to unlock, select the unlock function. Once you hit the command, a prompt shows up on the screen. Now we use Cassandra's card, because she has a higher clearance than I do. As I reads the key card, you hear the software of the door unlocking and it hits as it slowly opens. Okay, you can leave this here for the time being. Step here, which is in front of the door, which continues this painfully slow opening. Because it's like mechanically kind of like grinding open with no power. Come on, come on, come on. Ugh, that's... Oh. Took one step in. I'm sure I'm taking a nice big whiff of this. As you step across the threshold in the dark of the captain's quarters, you're instantly overwhelmed by a powerful fetter. You gag and stumble your way into back to the door, take a deep breath of the corridor's sterile air. Oh yeah, the air purifier is probably not running right now, huh? You try to compose yourself, but the odor drifts out around you, and a particularly acrid waft stings the back of your throat as you take another breath, causing you to gag again. The atmosphere on the ships and even the colonies are carefully regulating the air supply, constantly scrubbed or recycled. because the strong smells are something that are almost never encountered and quickly resolved. Must be nice to fart in space. You realize that with the ship's life support out of action, this hasn't been happening, and whatever is causing the stench in the captain's quarters has been left to putrefy the air out to this awful miasma. After a few more retches, you steel yourself to re-enter the room. Before heading in, you bring your arm up in front of your mouth and nose to do your best to bear the stink. Me. I was like that. It's doing that. I was on the captain's corpse, right? Like, that'd be a hell of a way to start. The captain immediately being dead. Although you're doing your best to breathe as lightly as possible, the odor still assaults you, and almost too much to bear. Captain? Are you... Are you in here, Captain? With no answer, you carry on deeper into the quarters. As you grow accustomed to the smell, you begin to pick up the unique odors that it's compromised of. The first scent that you identify brings back memories of your early flight training, the acidic tang of vomit. The second takes you a little while longer, sour and chemical. You wonder for a moment if it's one of the substances they use to strip paintwork from ships or armored frames, but the spy an empty bottle on the desk and realize what it is. Stale whiskey. God, you know how long you had to have whiskey around for it to go stale? Sick, huh? She was in her quarters because she wasn't feeling well. Probably was a hangover. With the cause of the captain's absence now obvious, you look around the room. To the left is another closed door. To the right you see an open doorway and what looks like the end of a bed. Captain! You call out again as you head towards it. Although your reason for being here is entirely justifiable, you still feel a bit hesitant about barging in. Especially with this smell. Captain! Nothing. Alright, Captain, I'm coming in. We need those. Having stepped through the doorway, you find yourself in a room that's much closer to a normal bedroom than the crew's quarters. Rather than accessible panels flush with the walls for storage, the room has actual furniture. A chest of drawers sits below a large mirror, and a bedside table is right next to an unmade queen-size bed. Kitten. Ow, 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 ow. Ah, God. 1 second. Are you going back to bed, or where are you going? What do you want to do, kid? Sorry, kitty break there. For a moment, you think that, like Cassie is wont to do, the captain has just thrown her worn uniform onto the bed and left it all in a heap. But before you turn back a sluggish movement as the mass of crumpled clothes turns over, revealing it to be Captain Bartermuse herself. Ah, Captain! There she is! You throw a salute and hold it for a moment before you realize the captain is completely oblivious to your presence. Man, you ever get so freaking scared going into someone's room that you throw a freaking salute the second they turn over? Like, damn, they ain't even upright. Oh, I gotta put on my gamer glasses. Come on, use. ... Tentatively making your way towards the captain's bedside, you registered that the smell of stale whiskey is strongest in her immediate vicinity. They spelled whiskey wrong. Of course I caught that. As you look around, you notice another bottle lies mostly empty, with a small pool of amber liquid left in one of its corners. Captain. You run your hands back through your hair and sigh loudly. Regardless of all this, you remind yourself you're here to get the emergency input codes. Captain. Hey, Captain. Captain Bartermuse. You place your palm on the captain's upper arm and rock her gently. Captain, come on. You need to wake up. We need your emergency input code. Ugh. Captain, wake up! Captain! Captain! Nah. We both at each other, step back and pinch the bridge of your nose with your thumb and forefinger. Despite everything, it doesn't seem the captain to be waking up for this stupor anytime soon. On the bright side, she's not freaking dead. So we can go ahead and scratch out off the bingo card. She's alive. Not kicking, but alive. Oh, come on, after everything. If I can't get the codes from the captain directly, maybe she keeps a copy of them around here or something? Worth a shot. Ooh, I can look around now. What is this? A painting of the first colony fleet to enter Jupiter's orbit. If I remember my civics lessons, they were funded by a wealthy Terran industrialist who had them built to serve as habitats for a workforce that could harvest resources from Jupiter and our moons for his company's sake. After a few decades, the population had enough of existing with no autonomy in living in a company's script, so they took control of the fleet and petitioned to join the Solar Federation. We all know how that ended. Oh no! Empty bottle of the whiskey, aside from a few leftover drops. Europa Colony Special Blend. Is that like the Canada's dry of like whiskey, space whiskey? You think? The company's got an actual bedroom. I wonder if this is an... It's an actual bathroom, all right. And now I know where the smell of vomit is coming from. What was I expecting in there anyway? Captain's bedroom. Actually pretty nice. First time you've seen a captain's quarters, so I didn't know they were this different. Privilege of rank, I guess. Pretty nice desk. Must be the captain does all of her work when she's not on the bridge. If that's the case then. As I thought, there's a few drawers at the back where she'd sit. Heck yeah! Can I try talking to her again? Captain, come on, wake up. Where's the codes? She ain't doing nothing. She is useless. I'm going through her stuff. And now I've seen Cassie hand the captain printer reports of status updates. Maybe she still got a copy of those codes in here. Snoozy Icarus. Oh. Yeah, he's a snoozy boy back there. Snoozy boy. You try to open the top drawer, but the small amount of initial give stops almost immediately as you hear a clunk. You try a few more times and spot a keyhole to the left of the drawer. Checking the second and third drawers gives you the same result. Locked, of course. I'll have to find the key. Oh no! I think I know where this is going. Ugh, you were uncomfortable enough making your way in here in the first place. Now you're about to rummage your way through the captain's personal effects. You feel even worse. Yup, gotta find that key! Let's get this over with. It can't be worse than space. At least that's gonna be fine. Do a quick scan of the room in the hopes that the captain may have left the key in the top chest drawers or bedside fruitless. You tentatively step back inside, nervously looking back to the captain's comatose form every few moments. Sorry about this, Captain. Hey, Noramon, welcome. Nice to see you in here. How you doing? We are currently rummaging through the captain's stuff. Standing by the chest drawers, you lay your hand on its top and drum the fingers before nervously pulling the top one open. Seeing only folded clothing inside, you close it quickly, going for a repeat the process of 2 drawers. Sitting back, you take another look around. The only immediately obvious place left to check is the drawer in the bedside table, right next to the captain. Hey man, she ain't doing a whole heck of a lot. Moving over on the squat beside the unit, acutely aware of the captain sleeping right next to you. In the low light, it's next to impossible for you to make out the contents of the drawer as you settle for reaching inside, feeling your way through. Just like taking your phone, just being like, don't wake up. I am incredibly eepy. Oh my goodness. Yeah. No, Noramon, we were talking about how, like, this cat right behind me over here, he is also incredibly eepy. And then there's another cat in here who has gone to retire in my wife's chair. Yeah, right? Like, either you wake her up and she tells you the codes, or she doesn't wake up and you get the codes. I feel like this is a win-win situation. It's not insubordination if she's passed the F out. Oh, what does this scene look like in original mode? Well, first of all, you're gonna save. Here it is in all of its greeny glory. Which, honestly, I think this is one of the scenes that actually does better with color, because you kind of get that depth of field. going with the different kinds of shading. This makes it look darker. It does a little bit. It's just easy to forget this is what lights off mode looks like. Only 2 save slots. Yeah, I dance on the edge, Noramon. Each decision is my last. Running your fingers over the various contents, you try to figure out which's in there. A thin plastic surface, regular bumps, which feels like it has a foil underside. A small glass bottle with a series of raised dots just under the label. Various under individual papers. Aha! Grab a hold of what feels like a key card clipped onto a lanyard and pull it out of the drawer. The metallic jangling sound that comes from with it is quickly revealed to be a keyring featuring various different keys. Yes! Captain's keys, baby! One of these has got to be the key for those. Oh! Morning, Captain! Hey, funny story! Oh! Don't look at me like that. Oh yes, hold on. Morning, princess, right? And then Dojin. She looks so freaking annoyed in Dojin mode. Oh my god. I know how to wake you up, electric gun. Get that woman coffee. Oh, she needs the hair of the dog that bit her. You love Dojin mode? Lieutenant. You freeze in place with your hand half out of the drawer, holding onto the captain's identity card and keys. You hadn't seen her stir, but in the blink of an eye, Captain Bartomuse had managed to reach out and grab a hold of your wrist. Alright, we're gonna go back to Vivid. Okay, chat. Am I just following orders, or should I have her explain herself? Now, I know what I would choose in here, but unfortunately, I am a streamer. I bow to the whims of the merciless chat. Yes, it was Lord's orders, which technically is fine because she is the acting officer currently. Orders, but I simp for the captain. I forgot, Rand Davis. You're all right with that. Throw that bitch under the bus. Oh, so I think we got 2 for orders, and I think Viathon wants her to explain herself. We got any other votes? Are you explaining yourself, or are you telling the captain? You know what? That's a good question, Hybrid. All right, here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna save on this decision because we're gonna make explaining yourself is for the lieutenant, FYI. Okay. I'm saying to tell the captain you're following Lord's orders. Here, I'm gonna explain myself real fast and then reload once we know who it's referring to. Oh, hi, baby girl. That God's grip on your wrist isn't particularly strong, but the shock is rendering you perfectly still. And by the way, Noramon, baby girl, you jumped up on me. Hi, baby girl. It's the other kitty. This is how I play most video games. Yeah. That is how my life is I just have this cat on my lap constantly. She is a lap kitten. Yeah. Baby girl. Hey, who's a good girl? Yeah. Oh. Oh, who needs the nuzzles? Who needs them nuzzles? Yeah. Okay. As she figures her life out. You slowly turn your head and face her and lazily gazing in the darkness. Lieutenant? Hold your breath for a moment. What are you? Composing yourself, you speak calmly. Okay, so you're explaining yourself. This choice of the wording is a bit misleading. I think I'm just gonna stick with this option. Nah, well, I'm a streamer. I'm a streamer. We're following orders. Such a bitch move, though. Mia chose for me. Her back paw hit the freaking mouse. Is that right, baby girl? Are we doing orders? Is that your pick? Huh? Huh? How about baby girl? All right, time out for a sec. I'm gonna let this cat out. I think that's what she wants. BRB. Kitten. There we go. Captain, it was... I'm here. I need to... Nah, I'm doing the other option. Because, like, explaining yourself rationally and calmly is exactly what I would do in this situation. Like, it's one thing I'm good at. And I don't like the idea of my character, like stuttering just because the captain's there. Like, explaining yourself, like, as the lieutenant makes way more sense in this scenario. Because expressing things calmly and orderly to the captain when she is not the current acting officer, I think is the correct way to go. So we're doing that. Lieutenant, what are you? I'm sorry, Captain. It's an emergency and I've come to get your input codes. Emergency? All the ship's systems have gone offline. Commander Quinn has collapsed. I've been working with Chief Cathy's and Lieutenant Lord. Cathy's. I don't even know how you say that name. And Lieutenant Lord to get your codes so that I can get the ship back online. The captain blinks groggily a few times, releases your wrist, drawing her hand back to rub her eyes. As she does, you slowly take the keys from the bedside drawer and stand. That's why I'm here. I thought the codes might be in your desk drawer, but I needed the key. Although you're doing your best to maintain your tone and demeanor, on the inside your heart is racing as you consider the possibility of being given a court-martial here and now. I like to see her freaking try! Sounds important. Well, yes, ma'am. I'd say we all consider it pretty crucial right now. The captain continues to gaze at you as you stand to attention in the darkness. I'm still standing at attention, though, because I'm still a little bit of a bitch boy here. But you know what? I'm gonna give it to him. It's still his captain. After a moment in which you think she may have fallen back to sleep, she rolls onto her back and brings her hand to her forehead. The printout with the latest access codes. It's in the second drawer. You breathe a sigh of relief as the captain rolls to face away from you. Just don't read the report. Ma'am? Okay, Noramon, you're kind of right. I did just kind of break into the room, so, you know, a little composure and dignity is warranted here. You wait for a few moments, but eventually a gentle snore emerges from the crumpled heap that is Captain Bartholomew's, and you relax. Second drawer, thanks, Captain. You got the captain's key ring. All right. So use, desk, item, key. There we go. Work our way through the selection. You're able to discount a few based on their unusual shapes. Find the right one is still a tricky task. Eventually you find one that slides easily in the lock and lets out a surprisingly hefty clunk. Yes. Look at me. I am the captain now. Not Vanessa! Vanessa sucks! The captain said the codes were in the second drawer, so you open that drawer first and purposely leaf through the collection of papers, reports, and files that it contains. Crew manifest, security updates. Aha! You see the telltale tractor feed edges of the printer paper. Oh god, tractor feed paper. I forgot what genre we were dealing with. That you've seen Cassie produce updates and reports for the captain sticking out from underneath a manila folder. As you lift the paper out of the drawer, the folder on top begins to spill its contents. You quickly grab it to stop everything from falling out, and as you do, you can't help but read its title. JCF JFC Naval Investigatory Commission's findings. Incident blah blah blah. Subject Rear Admiral Bartermuse. With what you believe to be the printout that would contain the codes in one hand and this report in the other, you look back towards the captain's bedroom as you remember her instructions. Just don't read the report. You hesitate for a moment, rereading the title. Rear Admiral? Let's see here. Manage poll. New poll. A new poll is in the chat now. Do we read the report? Remember, she has given us full access to this drawer on the trust that we will not read the report. However, it is right there and it talks about her being a rear admiral. Do we read that report? Or do we leave it be? Oh, we are even at 2-2 right now. 2 for yes, 2 for no. Do we have any tiebreakers in the crowd? Or is it going to fall upon me of what we're going to do? Oh no. I think this is on my shoulders as the streamer. Yes. Quick, get Mia back in there. Mia, I'm gonna move my mouse around and then you stomp on it. Oh no. Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. Catch the tiger by the toe. If he screams cyberpunk, let him meeny, miny, mo. Okay. Hybrid, you know what to do. You know what we do with those bots, Hybrid. There we go. Fastest banhammer in the PNW. I get the feeling we're going to find out more about it down the road. But there's also might be a situation where it might be good to not know this. If you know my meaning, you know what I mean? Like we're dealing like a kind of like a Star Trekian universe here, and you know, mind reading's not off the table, let's just say. I'm gonna put it back. I'm already invading her room and going through her things, and she's giving me permission to go into this drawer. I don't want to break her, I don't want to break her boundaries as captain and as a person any further than I really have to here. Even though she's kind of in a drunken stupor, it'd be very much a taking advantage type of situation. So we're gonna go and put it back. However, that's going in a third slot, baby. That's gonna go be there for later. Put it back. You stare at the cover of the report for a few moments before placing it back in the drawer. Whatever is in that report, it's not your place to know it. Besides, you've got much more important things to worry about right now. That's another thing. You read it. Oh, Norman. Oh, no. Now I kind of feel bad because I was all talking about like invasion of privacy. Invasion of privacy, and you're just like sweating it out over there. Taking the printout in both hands, you lift up to the light, staring at the top and letting the rest of the continuous stream of the paper unfurl. Your eyes scan the document for any key phrases that look appropriate until you see what you're looking for. Classified core system access codes. Generation date 2004-0214. For captain and second, Ole. Technically right now I'm the second, I guess. Because the second to the second is commanding officer. I don't even know how it all works right now. I just know Vanessa's bossing me around. Tearing the relevant page from the rest of the document at its perforated edges, you fold it up and stuff it in your pocket. Turning to leave, you pause for a second before taking a moment to quickly stuff the rest of the documents back in the relevant drawers and lock them back up. With the codes finally in your possession, you briskly make your way back towards the corridor outside the captain's quarters where you've left the PST. Cassie is second, but Lord is third. That's correct. You're right, Noramon. That is exactly what it is. That's right. That's why Lord is trying to take command, and the second she gets a monochrome of power, she immediately starts bossing everybody around, yelling at everyone, and then immediately becoming a tantrum little child the second things get tough. God. I love to hate Vanessa. As you approach the doorway, you take a hold of the radio and push down the transmission to report the good news. Okay, Chief. Lieutenant Lord, I've got the codes. You release the push to talk button and wait. You give it a moment, but instead of more instructions from the Chief or some kind of backhanded congratulations from the Lieutenant Lord, all you hear is the powerful hiss of static. Chief? You try again. Lieutenant Lord? Still nothing. Anyone? Come on. You give the radio a shake and spend a few moments adjusting the frequency dials, but you still don't hear anything from anyone, just the hiss of static. For a moment, you feel like throwing the radio down the corridor, but instead you stomp against the nearest wall and hold your head in one hand. Slouching against the wall in the low light for a moment longer, you sigh loudly before turning and kneeling down by the PST, which you begin to pack back up. You've got the codes, you just can't get them to the Chief over the radio. Next thing you decide is to get them to her in person. Wait, I can open the doors. Oh, thank God. I don't have to go in space. I thought I had to go into, like, the engines, you know what I mean? It's just some crazy nonsense. Oof. Oh. You clip the latches on the PST closed and pack it up as you stand, turning to make your way through the darkness towards the Forsyth thoroughfare. Oh. We are... There's no time for that right now. Okay. Hey, hold on. What's it say? Can I force myself to the bridge? Okay. I was curious if I, like, kept doing it. It'd be like, okay, fine. Then you go up there and get a special scene. Mood engineering here. Alright, now you're unpacking the PST. Let's get that baby out. Plug in the terminal, boot up. Now we use my card. In the door of the option, turn to the department. Duh. Unlike the other doors, the PST battery had been used to open. This blast door is inches thick and comprised almost entirely of solid steel. You watch attentively as a low grinding sound emanates from the ceiling for about 10 seconds before the door even begins to move. Like the others, the opening process is agonizingly slow. In the darkness of the thoroughfare, time seems to lose all meaning as you watch the door almost imperceptibly work its way upwards. After a few minutes, that barely noticeable progress comes to a halt and the low grinding sound stops, with the blast door giving you just over a foot of clearance between it and the floor. Beep! Turning the attention back to the PST, you see a graphic of an empty battery with a cross through it blinking on the screen. Oh. That was my last door. Oh no. Knowing that the blast door is keeping... Oh. Hold on. I got another baby boy wanting out. I'll be right back. All right, both kitties are now out of the room. We're seeing this different MC. Oh yeah, you're going through as a femme presenting, aren't you? Yeah. I remember when we raided in. When the blast door being kept open by the device's dwindling battery power, you drop to the floor and grabbing the PST, you can begin to crawl forward to engineering. There's just enough clearance for you to worm your way underneath. Banish forever. Worm your way underneath, but the smooth panel floor turning to grating makes it an uncomfortable experience. I imagine so. Oh no! By the time you make it halfway through with your feet still sticking out the thoroughfare, the grinding noise that had stopped the door starts back up again. No, 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 no! You shove the PST ahead of you through the small gap, being mindful not to yank the cable plugged in the underside of the terminal, which would be very bad and fatal. I'm much further in the plot now. Yeah, I was going to do this last Friday, but I had a thing come up with a friend of mine, so they were coming back to it from when we raided you last time. So like 2 weeks ago. Wait until you clear the door. Then rolling onto your back, you grab the PST's cable and give it a swift tug, pulling it out of the terminal on the other side and back it to you just before the blast door drops shut. That was way too close. You stand up and then quickly pick up the PST, which has a low battery warning blinking on its screen. Chief! Your call is met with the oppressive silence that somehow seems worse than the vast space the engineering department. I want all my blinky lights again. Chief, it's me, Lieutenant Icarus. I've got the PST. Pacific Standard Time Unit. Chief! You know, I'm used to the demo, Noramon. I know I'm like most of the way through the demo at this point. I'm about to get to uncharted territory for me, like completely. See how there's no response. Where the heck could she be? As you continue your way deeper into engineering, you grab the radio. Chief! Just like last time you tried, no one answers and all you hear is static. Chief! Someone! Anyone talk to me! When you get that uneasy feeling when nobody's answering the group text, you dart down different cartwalks trying to find the chief, your mind racing as to where she could be. Chief! With the low battery lowering illuminating your face in increasingly small intervals with its constant flashing, you stop. Looking down at the PST screen, you make a decision. I gotta do this now. Well, I've done everything else myself. Exactly. Turning back from the main section of engineering, you make a beeline over to the room that holds the central computer, your footsteps on the grating echoing through the silence. I may as well finish things. As you begin to run, the PST starts to beep and the battery symbol flashes even more rapidly. If you're running out of battery, then don't use what you've got left flashing and beeping. That's a mood. Running at full pelt now towards the central computer, you reach it just as the PST's whole screen begins to blink, cycling between showing the warning and nothing at all. Once you arrive at the doorway that leads to the central computer, you know what you have to do. Once you arrive at the doorway that leads to the central computer, you know what you gotta do. PST. Waste no time to draw the cable, hurriedly plug it in the terminal with one hand while it's scrolling through options with the other. Come on, hang in there. Cassandra's. And now, there. As soon as the door begins to open, you jump to it and start pushing it in order to force it open. Once you've made the gap large enough, you slip through the exact same moment as you hear the PST power down and the door slides back shut. We're now in front of the computer, the central computer that we were totally not allowed into, remember? It takes a moment, but your eyes adjust to the darkness of the room. Looking around, you see what is a little bigger than a cleaning cupboard or a crew's quarters shower cubicle. Masses of thick cabling run from the ceiling floor along the walls. Towards the end of the room opposite the doorway, on the far side is a huge screen with a keyboard positioned below it at a waist height. Stepping forward to the interface, you run your hand over the keys. The computer shows no signs of life, even after you begin to push random buttons. Simply mashing the keyboard doesn't produce any response, so say begin to feel your way around its casing in the darkness, trying to find what might be a power button. Eventually, you find a rocker switch set into the side of the device. Just like on the side of the monitor, just like click. Nothing happens. With no other options, you flick it back to the position it was in. This time, the screen illuminates and you hear electronics come to life. Beep boop, we can't compute. As a hard drive somewhere beyond the screen begins to whir loudly, the screen transitions from its boot screen to a password input screen. After everything you've been through, you're now 1 input away from getting the ship back online. Finally, all right, let's get in those freaking keys. And enter. With a final flourish, you strike the return key. An immense feeling of satisfaction fills you as you watch the computer work its way through the startup process. Names of systems show up and are followed by their statuses changing from offline to active. Yeah, baby! A faint draft runs down your neck, which you take to mean life support and ventilation is back online. Woo! Alright, hold on, Cassie, What? Wait, what? No, come on! You're hit with a gut punch of panic as the visuals on the screen begin to warp. Fragments of text scatter and lines of code split and distort while a strange noise squeals from the machinery. Don't you freaking do this. Don't you do this. I have told this to this freaking streaming software at one point in time. Curse you, Windows! Why doesn't this army run on Linux? Unsure of what's going on, you begin to think that this is your fault. You look over the keyboard again, repeating striking any key that seems like it may stop this process. And escape! Pause! 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 Anything stop! Oh my god, I'm not going to unplug it and replug it in, come on! The hell? What's going on? As suddenly as it started, the computer's erratic activity ceases, but the only document left on screen is Cassie's personnel file. Cassie's file? Wait, why? You pause, unsure whether you should do anything or leave it as is. You can tell from the ambient noise that it's to return to the ship and back online, but why would the computer freak out like this? Why would it pull up Cassie's file? No! Huh? Doing your best to understand what you just saw, you tentatively reach a hand out towards the keyboard. You're still unsure what you could do to figure out what happened, but you can't help but feel like whatever it was wasn't right. Icarus, I need you on the bridge right now. Girlfriend's a Cylon, bro. Look, she's not a Cylon, okay? We're very much in love. She just wants to go. She told me that third date we're going to assimilate. So, you know, we're looking forward to that. You withdraw your hand, instead of grabbing the radio to answer Lieutenant Lord. All right, I'm on my way back now. How's Lieutenant Quinn doing? There's no time for her. Get up here now. Son of a curse on your breath as you turn to leave the room. You learn now that if Lieutenant Lord doesn't intend to be helpful, she won't be. Rather than attempt to argue, you make your way through the ship back towards the bridge. Ah, it's so good to see these lights back on again. As the elevator doors hiss open, you step onto the bridge. You see Lieutenant Lord frenziedly flicking switches and turning dials in an instrument panel, stopping every so often to type commands into her station. Cassie, meanwhile, remains unconscious on the bridge floor. I'm here, Lieutenant. What else is wrong now? You're over to Cassie, kneel down, slipping your hands under her back and legs in preparation to pick her up and take her into a newly accessible sick bay. It's the O'Brien! With a single movement, you stand and bring Cassandra up from the floor. What about it? It's gone! Despite the successful re-evacuation of the JFS Gundog Central Computer by Lieutenant Icarus, the JFS O'Brien could not be contacted and was no longer coming up on sensors. Oh. That's probably not good. After taking Lieutenant Commander Quinn to the sick bay, Lieutenant Icarus, alongside Cadet Grange, are tasked with sweeping the ship for faults or damage. Willis, Lieutenant Lord sets Chief Cathy's to work helping her locate the other ship. The JFS O'Brien is eventually located just as Captain Bartholomew calls an emergency meeting. Outer Jovian space. The bridge of the Jovian patrol ship JFS Gundog. Now, ladies and gentlemen, all lieutenants and gentlemen. Ladies, gentlemen, those who have ascended gender, I give you parts of the game I've never seen before. As you, the Chief and Lieutenant Lord, stand at attention, waiting for the captain to begin the meeting, the sound of an approaching elevator is the only noise that can be heard in the tense silence of the bridge. Ensign Hanson Cruz entering the bridge, reporting as ordered. A whole new world feeling, right? Hanson states, performing a lazy salute as he steps out of the elevator and onto the bridge. I helped you out! You shift slightly as you watch him enter. You knew you were waiting for someone, but why Hanson? He pauses for a moment and you see him take a stock of everyone present. Your shoulders tense up and you inadvertently clench your jaw as he heads straight towards you. At the last moment, he steps to your side, takes a place in the lineup next to you without so much as a sideways glance. You remain on edge, but your attention is quickly taken by the captain as she finishes reviewing the readouts from the control panel on her chair. It stands up. Being locked up is still so tempting. Oh yeah, Noramon, did you ever go back and zap him? Like, I'm gonna do a chaos run as a female cadet, where I just go and I just zap everybody, as many people as I can, just willy-nilly. At ease. The four of you relax slightly, although, with the exception of Hanson, you all maintain a formal stance. Yeah, we're going again mode, baby. Now that we're all assembled, we can begin. First of all, well done to all of you for your actions whilst I was indisposed. No. For a brief moment, the captain's eyes meet yours and you do your best not to react. Aside from the doctor, you are confident that you were the only person on board who knew the nature of the captain's indisposition. You hadn't mentioned it to anyone else and didn't intend to, but you did find yourself wondering if she was currently in a fit state to be organizing a mission. Your cooperation, ingenuity, and composure were under pressure have been noted, and I will be recommending formal awards be applied to your records. Out of the corner of your eye, you notice Vanessa nod in agreement, but the rest of you remain still. Now, on to the matter at hand. As of 11:47 Jovian Standard Time, a signal of unknown origin was received and shut down not just the Gundog Central Computer, but also all of its emergency backup systems as well. With Commander Quinn unexpectedly taken ill, Lieutenant Lord took command and Lieutenant Icarus was able to carry out her plan to access the hangar via the internal airlock. Her plan? Ha! You mean panic mode? Oh! You've been too busy carrying out an assessment of the ship's systems alongside Dalton to submit an incident report, and you knew the chief had been tasked by Vanessa with locating the unresponsive O'Brien. You bite your tongue and glance back to Vanessa, who nods again, the corner of her mouth curling upwards. The captain was clearly working from a biased interpretation of events. Vanessa? Vanessa! From there, Lieutenant Icarus was able to obtain a portable sub-terminal and the codes for the reactivation for the central computer, a process he carried out successfully at 1327. Although the gun dog is now operational, we have not been able to make contact with the O'Brien. We can only assume that whatever interfered with the gun dog systems had the same impact on the O'Brien. So that you're already at 10 out of 10 hate. That was before she took freaking credit for my plan, for me and the Chief's plan. She did nothing but sit by and bitch. Unfortunately, it would appear their crew have not been able to reactivate its systems, as we have received no communications from them whatsoever. Oh, hell yeah, over 9,000. Hey, let's go. Chief Cathays, do you have an update on the O'Brien? Group turns to look at the Chief. She steps forward. You realize this is the first time you've seen her outside the engineering or the hangar. Although she stands as tall as ever, there's something about her presence that feels diminished. Yes, ma'am. We've not had any response from the O'Brien transponder, and the normal sensors haven't picked up any of the usual activity from the ship. However, You hear Vanessa tut, and the Chief pause briefly before continuing. That is, Lieutenant Lord and I realized that by using the infrared targeting sensors and fire control, we could pick up the O'Brien itself as if it were debris. We've located it at 43 degrees off the starboard bow at the distance of roughly 300 kilometers. Resolution gets a bit scrappy at that range, but we're not seeing any external signs of activity. Thank you, Rand Davis. I see. Lieutenant Lord, how long until we can dock with them to provide assistance? I think the Chief is best equipped to handle that question, ma'am. Ugh. She does not look happy about this. The Chief pauses for a moment. You know the answer to this question, but so should the Chief and Vanessa. As the silence drags on, you begin to wonder why neither of them are forthcoming. Chief Cathays? Cathays? I'm gonna suck at that name. The pause only becomes more loaded as the seconds pass. Willis, you have no idea what's happening here. You can feel the tension between the Chief and Vanessa build. I'm not going to speak out of turn. Tired of a different situation from before. There is protocol to be done at this meeting. I have not been called upon. I have not been asked to speak. I am not going to speak out of turn. As tension fills the room, we shift awkwardly from one foot to the other. It wouldn't surprise you if Vanessa was trying something to get one over on the Chief somehow, but thinking of your recent argument, you didn't want to get yourself caught up in her machinations. You decided to remain silent, doing your best not to attract any further ire from Vanessa. Chief Cathays, I asked how long it would take until we could dock with him to provide assistance. The Chief grits her teeth and answers hesitantly. We won't be able to, Captain. The engines are still offline. The force shut down and engaged the safety mechanism, which ended the reaction. Because I've been helping... Vanessa's sharp tut cuts the Chief off! Falls silent for a second before carrying on. You're not supposed to speak out of turn either, Vanessa! Vanessa! I haven't had the opportunity to restart them yet. It's a 6-hour process. The Chief lets out an exasperated sigh as she hears this information, making no effort to conceal her frustration. You'd always thought of her distant or disinterested, but considering her current state, you had to wonder how much of that was her simply working her way through the hangover. I see. The captain stands silent for a moment, keeping her eyes closed and pinching the bridge of her nose with her thumb and forefinger. Suddenly her eyes open and she stands completely upright, assuming a posture you're surprised to see from her that manages to communicate an air of not just authority, but capability. We'll be carefully carrying on a mission as follows. Before you step back to attention, even Hansen seems to take this announcement seriously. And when Hansen takes anything seriously, you know it's somebody's job on the line. Hansen only shows up if he thinks he can either show off or not get fired. God dang it. 1 second. I don't know what it is about this game that stuffs up my nose. It is the weirdest phenomena. No other time I stream do I get this stuffy, but somehow during this game, my nose gets stuffed up and it's driving me crazy. It's driving me... This is Vanessa Lord's fault, all right? Vanessa, whatever you are doing to my freaking nasal cavity is on you, all right? And when you go out that airlock, I'm gonna breathe fully and clearly as I memorialize it in your name, Vanessa. Vanessa! Vanessa! Yes, I'm allergic to awful women. As we're not able to reach the O'Brien with the gun dog to provide support, we'll do the next best thing. I'm not allergic to anime women, alright? Because clearly you have not met my wife, who is in fact an anime. That sounds really... I take that back. She is my waifu, however. She is my waifu. We're not able to reach the O'Brien with the gun dog to provide support, we'll be doing the next best thing. Ensign Cruz and Lieutenant Icarus will head over on an armored frame to provide assistance. Oh good, me and Hansen on a field trip. What could go wrong? You clench your teeth and your body goes rigid. Not only would this be your second trip into space in the span of a few hours, but you'd be doing it with Hansen for company. Oh god! Your eyes dart across to Hansen, whose attention remains on the captain. You can't be sure, but you swear you see a flicker of a smile on his face. We'll be working on the assumption that the same issues affecting the gun dog are affecting the O'Brien. So, Lieutenant Icarus will take a portable sub-terminal, locate the captain or second command, and then utilize their access codes to assist their chief engineer in reactivating the ship. If there are complications, or we're too late, then our second priority would be to obtain the O'Brien's black box. At the very least, we can hopefully gather some information on what's out there that could be immediately disable 2 Swift-class ships. Lieutenant Icarus, Ensign Cruz, do you both understand? The pair of you salute and in unison respond. Yes, Captain! Yes, Captain! Chief Cathays, I want you to provide a fully charged portable sub-terminal and guidance on removing a Swift-class's black box. After that, prepare Gundog 1 for launch, and then I want those engines back online. Understood? Yes, Captain. Lieutenant Lord, you'll be overseeing this mission. Understood? Yes, Captain. Very good. It's 1603. This mission commences at 1630. Dismissed. With this final instruction out of the way, you all salute the captain and then turn to leave. The chief is the first to you to reach the elevators as she steps into one without waiting for anyone else, pressing the button for her destination disappearing behind his 2 doors as they hiss shut. Without paying you any attention, Vanessa and Hansen both step into the remaining elevator, with Vanessa hitting a button as soon as the pair are boarded. I'm sure they're cackling maniacally as they board this freaking elevator together, the evilest couple on the ship. As those close, you see her turn to Hansen, crossing her arms and begin to speak where their words are cut off before you can hear them. Great! Secrets! I love this! This is going to turn out great! You remain in the silent bridge with the captain, who you hear return to her chair. Whilst you wait for an elevator to return, you go over what you might need to do in your head. Chief's responsibility to get a charged sub-terminal. Hansen and Dalton will be responsible for pre-flight checks. Aside from getting into a spacesuit from the hangar, you realize you don't really have anything you need to do before the mission starts. Less than a half hour to go before you've taken off. You don't have much time to do anything either, though. You might have the opportunity to visit a few other crew members and check in on them. You think it might be a push to visit everyone. Eventually, the elevator the chief left in returns and the door hisses open. Alright. So that is my cue. I'm going to try to talk to the captain first, and then immediately go in the sickbay. Yes, Lieutenant, can I help you? You thought you'd known what you wanted to ask the captain, but in the moment you find the words catching your throat and you're suddenly unsure yourself. You got a lot of questions and not a lot of time. Doesn't help that some of those questions are more dangerous than others. I have a mission to prepare you and need to be boarding that armored frame from Ensign Cruz soon. If you've got something to say, I suggest you do so quickly. I don't have a lot of time to complete this mission plan, so I can't talk to you for long. Based on the captain's terse response, you decide you should focus on the one thing that's most important to you right now. Asking about Instant Cruise. I mean, it's not a mystery why Instant Cruise was here. He's the only pilot, right? It's like one of 2 pilots. So obviously he's going to be piloting something. Going across. Nope, never mind. F it, we ball hard here. About your condition. Drop breath and hold on to it for a moment. You're well aware of the risk of what you're about to ask, but you know that you couldn't ignore what you've seen in the captain's quarters, especially as she was about to send you out on a mission. I was looking to check with you on that. You trail off as you try to find the most diplomatic way to word your concerns. I wanted to make sure that you were... You pause again. All right, before I headed off. May I ask why you want to inquire about whether I'm all right, Lieutenant? Your previous conviction about the wisdom of your this line of questioning begins to slowly fade under the captain's firm gaze. Well, it's just after the condition you were in when I was in your quarters, Oh my god, that face! Oh! Oh, it's not any better in the green. It's not any better in the green. It's worse in Dojin. Oh, she is going to kill me. She looks like the sun. Like, it looks like that guy. Holy moly. Your stomach sinks like a rock and you feel a chill move down your back as the captain gazes straight to you. Your words catch in your throat and you find yourself stunned by her look, unable to move or think. Lieutenant Icarus, any condition I may have is thoroughly understood and managed by the ship's doctor, whose responsibility it is to ensure I am fit for duty. As such, it is not the head of security's task to make sure I'm all right. Is that understood? With no other option available to you to agree, you silently nod your head before releasing a strangled, "Yes, ma'am." Well, thank you for your concern, Lieutenant, but if that's all, then I have a mission plan to complete. Yes, Captain. Very good. Dismissed. Chaos! As the doors open, you're immediately confronted by Vanessa standing in front of you, her arms crossed and her foot tapping impatiently. Well, it took you long enough, Lieutenant Icarus. I pissed her off too, but with something else. Oh boy. I'm guessing when you read the report, you have a fourth option there. You sidestep her and make your way into the central hub. As you do, she turns to follow you. My apologies, Lieutenant. I didn't realize I was needed so urgently. Well, I wouldn't go that far, Icarus. Your frustration with Vanessa has cooled over the past few hours that you spent with Dalton and had been carrying out duties that kept you well away from her. But back in her presence, you remember how tense things got between you on the bridge and over the radio. Lieutenant Lord, I've got a mission to be preparing for. Is there anything I can help you with right now, or can I get going? It's nothing much, Lieutenant. I just wanted to say that you did a good job in getting the Gundog operational again. Something about Vanessa's manner makes you instantly uneasy. Considering how she'd behaved recently, praise was the last thing you expected. Yeah, thanks. I did what I had to do. And for that, you've received a much-deserved commendation on your record. You roll your eyes and begin to walk away again, unwilling to deal with whatever mind games Vanessa was attempting to play. Wait a moment, Lieutenant Icarus. All I wanted to do was congratulate you. You deserve it as a member of the crew who's gone above and beyond. What's this about, Lieutenant? You ask, your patience thinning rapidly, as it is in person. Straight to the task at hand. That's what I like about you, Lieutenant. Now, a proficient, able crew member like yourself. You know what it means to do your duty, but you've seen how the captain and her second carry out their affairs on this ship. What are you getting at? All I want to know, Lieutenant, is whether you think that crew members like yourself, Chief Engineer, Cadet Grange, and the rest deserve a competent commander. Now, obviously, I'm not going to play this game, but she's also going to be the direct command of this upcoming mission. And I don't think she's above screwing me over on the other ship. I see, though, that the inaugural members in chat of the... inaugural members of the Vanessa Lord Memorial Airlock crew have made it very clear what their decision is. So I'm not even going to go expound any further. Your recent discovery about the captain comes back to the front of your mind, but instead of answering, you make a move to walk past Vanessa, fully intending to not get involved in whatever she's planning. Lieutenant Lord, I really don't have time for this. Based on your recent conduct, Lieutenant, you seem pretty reliable, so I wanted to let you know ahead of time. I'll be keeping a close eye on this mission to see who's capable and who isn't. It's important to know who you can trust to do what needs to be done, after all. Anyway, nice talking with you, Lieutenant. Good luck on the upcoming mission. With that, Vanessa turns on her heel and heads off down the Forsyth thoroughfare, leaving you alone in the central hub. Oh, Lieutenant, do your best. I'll be watching. I hate that bitch. Yeah, Hanson was stuck in an elevator, so... I have the sudden desire to go visit the airlock. But no. Priorities. The elevator doors slide open and you raise your hand to shield your eyes from the aggressive glare of the sick bay's powerful lighting. As you come to expect, the strong scent of clinical disinfectant pervades the room. Always watching. She looks upon you. She sees you when you're sleeping and when you're awake. She has seen what you've done on this ship and she is disappointed! Anyway. I don't know what that was. Don't look at me. Don't watch this channel. It's weird. It's inferable to powerful odor otherwise. Scanning the room, you see that everything seems to be in order. The doctor sits at his desk, goes over his data pad. Oh, I can buy chocolate for the mess hall. Good to know. I don't have a chocolate bar on me. Running out of places. No. Hold on. I am reloading. I'm going to the mess hall first. So we're going to go all the same things we did before. We're just going to go real fast. Move, Central Hub, Vanessa. We hate her. Look at her stupid face. Thanks. Leave. She's always watching me. But first, mess hall. All right, mess hall. You stop and look inside. Everything seems to be operating as normal, from the lazily spinning extractor fan to the food cycling through the different options. At a table facing away from you is Harv. It's Haru. Watch them as they idly swirl the contents of their cup curvy before they take a sip. If they notice you, they aren't letting on, but from the looks of it, they seem deep in thought. You don't particularly have anything you want to ask them, but then again, you decide it may be good to check on them before you head out. Yeah, candy bar. So I want to talk to Haru. I'm going to save real fast, because I'm going to talk to Haru. Because I really want to know what they were doing when the ship was blacked out. And if they're willing to give any information that Hanson isn't willing to give. I can come back. I'm going to talk to Haru first. Because then I'm saving it now just in case I'm like on my limit of people. because I want to make sure Cassie is one of the people at the very least. But it doesn't tell me like what time it is or how many I can do. So I'm just saving it as a stopgap. Because if I talk to Haru and it tries to skip me ahead, I'm going to load it back up, skip Haru, and go to Cass. That's what's going to happen. It's a Rumney. Oh, Icarus. Oh, Icarus, what's going on? What's a hero like you stopping by the mess hall? Hanson told me he was taking you for a ride over to the O'Brien. You pick up snacks for the trip? I was just checking up on some of the crew before I left, making sure everyone's doing okay. Oh, wow, what a professional. I'm doing all right. I was sleeping in my quarters when the power went out. Didn't even notice till Hanson started banging on my door. That's good. Glad you're doing okay. Yeah. Icarus? Yes, Ensign? Thanks for helping Hanson out. Oh, well, you know, it's my duty, right? Yeah, guess it is. Still, he's my flight partner. So if you did him a solid, you did me a solid. And that's the only reason I would help Hanson out in any way, shape, or form. Because Haru is okay. Keep it up. Maybe you aren't the coward we think you are. Lighten up, Lieutenant. Jeez. Alright, Ensign. You're okay with it. If you're okay, then I'll leave you to it. Don't be like that, Lieutenant. We just need to chill out. If you need any help with that, you can stop by my quarters at any time. Slug. Anyway. Just being like mean to Haru for no reason. Anyway. Cassie! Everybody, it's the good girl. There he is, Lance. Yeah, I want to go get to Haru. Haru is just... They do not have any kind of filter. I still suspect that Haru is mostly doing that because they know it's gonna hurt Cass. Cassandra, who had been idly laying back on one of the beds playing with her hair, had seen you the moment you stepped into the room and swung her legs around to the side of the bed, launching herself off it and towards you. I heard all about how you'd... Ah! Whoa, Cassie, careful! You dart forward just in time to grab her before she stumbled to take his turn to fall. She's such a disaster. I love her. I just imagine he's like, ah! Like just a really sharp, like... All right. Let's get you back on your feet. Let's get back to bed. Thanks, Lance. In one swift motion, you scoop Cassie up in your arms and carry her back to the bed, setting her down one that she'd been lying on. Okay. I think I could have made that journey on my own, you know. Well, better safe than sorry, all right? Still looking after me after everything you've done already. My hero. Your cheeks go flush and you look away for a moment. The captain's acknowledgement of your actions have been so perfunctory that it barely registered, but Cassie's wholehearted praise has you suddenly feeling sheepish. Oh. She is a really great compliment, yeah. That's the one thing I was talking about. I even talked about in the Discord a little bit about how much I enjoy a visual novel that starts out with a relationship with somebody that's likable. You know what I mean? VNs are obviously known for being like dating sims a lot of the time. And when you go into one, you instinctively, like, if you play enough of these, you instinctively start looking at all your different options through the game and figuring out your relationships and stuff like that. You go through that checklist. But this game is just straight up, this person is your girlfriend. You're having a great time together. So far, your relationship seems great. There's no reason to not like this relationship. You as a player are just like, well, this character is likable, so you know what? I'll roll with it. It's just very well done. I like that about this game. No, it wasn't a big deal. It was just what I had to do. I'm pretty sure anyone else would have done the same thing if they were in my position. Don't sell yourself short, Lance. It is a big deal. Saving an entire crew from a complete system failure with no chain of command isn't exactly something we get trained for. Plus, I didn't hear about anyone else going on a spacewalk from one end of the ship to the other to get the equipment they needed. It makes you feel bad for even thinking about another romance option, right? Just look at her. She's just a big old... She is in sentient bubblegum. That's Cassandra. She is sentient bubblegum, and I love her to pieces. If doing all that doesn't make you a hero, I don't know what does. You smile and look back to Cassie. As self-conscious as you feel being called a hero, her assessment of events isn't wrong. Thank you, Cassie. I'm pretty sure I should be thanking you, Lance. I don't think Vanessa could have carried me all me down here like you did. You bite your tongue at Cassie's mention of Vanessa. You had a strong feeling that Vanessa wouldn't have even tried. Player's biggest supporter. Look, guys just like being complimented, alright? Sometimes you just want to be called a good boy. You push the thought from your mind. You don't have much time with Cassie before your mission is due to begin. The last thing you want to do is to be thinking about Vanessa. Don't worry about it. How are you doing anyway? Oh, me? I'm doing great, aren't I, Doc? Though he doesn't look up from his data pad, you see a flicker of recognition in the doctor's face. No, Miss Quinn. You are not doing great. Ah! Ah! You had a sudden and intense migraine followed by an unexplained and extended loss of consciousness, which in turn has followed by a persistent and ongoing headache. I would not look to describe your condition as great. Cassie, why didn't you tell me you were still feeling bad? Oh, come on! What are you, my doctor? No, Miss Quinn, he is not your doctor. It's an expression, Doc. So I've got a bit of a headache right now, but I bet it's nothing. It's probably because I pulled a double shift to cover the captain without eating anything but a bag of chips and 3 chocolate bars. Cassie! Miss Quinn, I advise you... You advised me that you'd been sticking rigorously to the NutriShake schedule I laid out for. Okay, everyone, jeez! I know, but here I am, hydrated and full of electrolytes on doctor's orders. I'm going to be fine. So anyway, how you doing, Lance? Are you able to finish your shift now that the gun dog's back up and running? You made everything A-okay? Actually... We've not been able to make contact with the O'Brien, so I've been ordered to head over there in an armored frame. Oh no, honey. That seems really... Aww. She's like a golden retriever. She's just so concerned about you. With Hanson. Ah! Every time she has his face. Ah! Oh, honey. I'm so sorry. How are you feeling about it? If I'm being honest, I'm not really looking forward to it. Let out a deep sigh as various thoughts about the mission fill your mind. I'm not sure what's going to be worse. Being stuck inside an AF with him before the flight over, or having to work with him once we get on board the O'Brien. A valid response, right? I'll be a superior officer whilst we're over there. I don't even want to think about how you'll take that. You taper off as you begin to mentally run through all the terrible outcomes you can imagine coming from such a situation. Hey, don't worry about it. As much as Hanson is, like he is, he's still a part of the JCF and one of our crewmates. He likes to throw his weight around when he can't get he can get away with it, but I don't think he'll do it on an important mission. And a terrible voiceover comms. Awful. Just awful voice. Icarus gets very concerned, yes. I think it's a little too proud to ruin his reputation as an ace pilot by starting a fight inside of his AF. Besides, once you're on the O'Brien, you can just get to work helping the other crew and ignore him. Well, that's the other thing. Huh? It looks like whatever happened to the gun dog has happened to the O'Brien. Since we're not able to identify any activity coming from them, there's a good chance that the crew hasn't made it. Oh no! Yeah. Hey, come on! They may not get their ship back up and running, but maybe they got their own savvy chief engineer who's figured out a solution that keeps them all safe. And on top of that, if they're really lucky, they've got their own heroic security officer who's saving the entire crew right now. Oh, Cassie. Yeah, you're right, I'm sure of it. You do your best to match Cassie's enthusiasm, but you haven't forgotten to chill the air of the gun dogs before you got it back online. One of the first signs that that ship wouldn't be able to sustain its crew for much longer. That had been over 3 hours ago. Yeesh. Yeah, there's not a lot to be optimistic about here. If they are very lucky, then you may be going over to a ghost ship. Doing that thing where like pushing bodies out of the way in the 0G. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to this portion of the game. Hey, Lance. Whatever happens, it'll be all right. I expect you like just being like holding my face like, whatever happens, it'll be okay. Who am I to win? Just like that. You've already done incredible things today. Way more than anyone could have ever expected. You're gonna be all right. Thanks, Cassie. Besides, you said you booked our tickets for that new water park in the Europa cluster. I'm not gonna let anything happen that'll stop us from going. Now get out there and nail this mission, Lieutenant Icarus. She's the best. Yes, ma'am. Hey, what are you still doing here? Well, I just thought I'd check on you one last time to make sure you're okay. You sweetie, but I'm fine, totally fine. Not fine. I'm currently under supervision to assess the extent of and potential cause of any ailment I may be suffering from. However, my condition is currently stable and does not appear life-threatening. Haha! Although I can think of something that could speed up my recovery. I know exactly what'll speed up your recovery, Cass. Oh, you mean something like this? That's exactly what I was thinking of. How did I know? Look at that. Since I'm so good at treatment, maybe I should consider a move to the medical corps? Now that I think about it, it might suit you. You always really liked that nurse uniform. Yeah. But now that you've solved this medical emergency, you need to focus on getting ready for your mission. Get out there and nail it, Lieutenant Icarus. Yes, ma'am. All right. Important, though. Oh, I was gonna take one over to the other ship just in case they had their own version of a Cass over there. You know what I mean? Like if I go up against like an evil space alien, I'm like, candy bar? And then like, candy. And then we just like hang out and like have a beer. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and go check on. I'm gonna head over to engineering. And I need to check in on the chief. I didn't jump in for him, but at the same time, I really couldn't. Away with your newfound appreciation for the activity taking place, you all wonder about if this is how the chief feels. On that subject, hey Chief, you around? Call out, doing your best to shout over the noise. Chief? You wait a moment, get no response, looking around, you don't see her anywhere. Yeah, she's probably in the engine room, bub. Oh, I misclicked. So I've been wondering what having a computer reboot it hadn't seemed normal. Chief, when you both had time, but now you have a mission to get on with. Oh, for a second I thought I was able to walk back in there. Moving from the engineering section to one of the engine rooms. You turbine-like machinery that fills the majority of the area is now still. You got so used to their constant motion and rhythm that your first few security reviews you stopped noticing it, but now its absence of stillness makes a huge space feel uneasy. The only saving grace was that the cavernous structure of the engine room no longer filled with the sound of the engines. You could hear the analytical monologue echoing across the expanse. You wouldn't have had to do more than follow it to find the source. So that's detectors 1 through 7 calibrated against the background gamma and signaling baseline. Now if I can... Hey Chief, how's it and no blockages in the coolant flow, no warping and exterior heat sinks either. Chief! Oh, it's you, Lieutenant Icarus? Don't you have a mission to be getting ready for? Well, yes, but I thought you'd check in and see if you're doing before I leave. Oh? Well, everything is as fine as it can be for down here. The loss of power didn't do any damage as all the failsafes are hard shutdown kicked in, so because of... Not the ship, Chief. I want to check in on you. I'm fine, Lieutenant. I just need to get these engines back online. I would have had them online already if Lieutenant Lord didn't have me waste all that time finding the O'Brien. Once I told her that we could find them using the infrared targeting sensor, she should have left it up to the Gunner D's and let me get on with things. I could have gotten back to figuring out what's causing the problems with our long-range communication system by now, maybe even. That's something else I wanted to ask, Chief. What was happening between you and Lieutenant Lord on the bridge? I've seen what she can get like, but I didn't think she'd be that way in front of the captain. I don't like where this is going. Alright, Lieutenant, you know what? I've seen what you'll do for this ship and the crew, so in my book that makes you alright. So I'm going to let you in on a secret, in case you hadn't figured it out already. The only reason any of us are on the ship is because the JCF don't know what to do with us. Not bad enough to dismiss or court-martial, but too much of a liability to crew anything important. And I know that includes me. As a Union woman, I butted heads with enough of the brass that they've used every trick in the book to get me out of my way and onto my last warning. So when Lieutenant Lord realized how pissed the captain would be that the engines hadn't been reactivated, she threatened to pin this whole mess on me. Yeah, she'd report the decision to delay the engine's reactivation as mine if I didn't back up her story. Whole thing makes me sick. Some of us actually have important work to do and don't have time to be playing games with the crew to worm their way to the top. Lord sucks. Vanessa Memorial Airlock growing in importance. As much as I hate going along with it, I'm stuck with the time being. Jeez, I didn't realize Vanessa could be so... But don't worry about me, Lieutenant. I'm a big girl. I can look after myself. I'll figure out some way to deal with her. You just worry about getting back from the O'Brien safely, you hear? Thanks, Chief. Don't mention it. Although, one thing, Lieutenant. Yes, Chief? Don't interrupt me when I'm clearly in the middle of something extremely important. Ah, yeah, Chief. Now get out of here. Yes, Chief. Scramble. Oh. I was like, can I get a bigger gun going to this other ship? Because I'm scared. Soon, my beloved. Soon. You're correct, Viathon. And that's scheduling she can't skip. Let's see. I'm assuming I can't find Hansen. Let's go in the hangar. Ship's gravity disappears. You slowly float down the few steps leading to the hangar. Once your almost weightless feet connect with the steel flooring in the skywalk, you kick it off and towards the guardrail, grabbing it before you float past. Heavy are the typical sights of the hangar, but for the first time since you boarded the Gundog, its expanse is filled with noise and motion rather than the usual near silence of stillness. You see Dalton floating from one segment of the furthest armored frame to another, clearly in the process of carrying out its pre-flight checks. As he arrives to each new part, he opens in an access panel, checks the hidden machinery and mechanisms underneath, and then slams the panel closed, occasionally stopping to take one tool or another from his belt to apply adjustments to the frame's inner workings. Alongside the erratic slamming of your panels and whirring of electronic tools coming from Dalton, you also hear the back and forth bickering between Hansen and Vanessa. You watch as Hansen, donning his flight suit, snaps at the lieutenant and then kicks off for the empty space of the hangar, swiftly followed by Vanessa, who does not let up on whatever it is she's trying to discuss. Well. Perhaps the enemy of my enemy is my friend here. 'Cause Hansen doesn't like me, but does sound like he doesn't like snivelly little commanding officers either. Well, it sounds like, yeah, exactly. It sounds like Hansen is being talked to by Vanessa, and he does not like being talked down to by anybody. Glancing at your watch, you see that it's almost the scheduled time to depart and start the mission. No he's putting it off any longer, I guess. Santa and Vanessa continue their argument, oblivious to your presence. You maintain your grip on the guardrail. Let me have a chat with him. Well, I mean, we're about to go out on the mission, right? We should get on the same page, you know? Get to know each other a little more. You know what we want to do before you left when I'll be time. Alright, I'm going to save here. It's back on your watch. It's getting close to the mission time. You still got enough time to catch up on the last minute. Do I get a chance to talk with Hanson before I go? So, we're going to hang out at Dylan's place and listen to some sweet jams. Looking around at the old illuminated screens of flashing radars, it appears that everything here is back up and running as normal. There's no information on display. You've got no idea what's the correct assessment. Leaning slightly, catching close to Dylan, you can see that he's currently zoned out in appreciation of the track he's listening to. Knowing that he would have recently had his personal sanctuary intruded upon by both Lieutenant Laura and the Chief, it feels cruel to disturb him, but your years of being a security officer kick in. You find it hard to resist the urge to check in. Hey, Dylan? Warrant Officer D's. Dylan! Yeah. Latest report. No update on the... Oh, hey, Lieutenant. Sorry about that. I just had the Chief and Lieutenant Lord crammed in here with me, shouting at each other and finding the O'Brien. Lord wouldn't have even let me perform the search with my headphones on against regulations, like it makes a difference of what I could see. I didn't sign up for this kind of stress. Anyways, what's up? Oh, nothing. I just thought I'd check in on you, see how you were doing after everything. You know me, Lieutenant. As long as I get to listen to my music, it's all good. And, like, as long as Lieutenant Lauren never comes in here again, I guess. What about you, sir? You've got to be you got you to thank for getting the gun law back on her feet. You doing all right? Yeah, I guess so. I've been too busy with running a sweep of a ship to stop and think about it, really. Well, with needing to do a spacewalk and all rather than you than me, Lieutenant, close as I want to get to space is seeing it through these monitors. Yeah. Anyway, if it's okay with you, Lieutenant, I'm surprised... I'm supposed to be keeping an eye on the O'Brien, and I was right in the middle of a gnarly Trish and the Replicant song. Mind if I get back to it? Oh, no problem. Take it easy, Gunner. Thanks, sir. All right. I basically talked to anybody I'd want to talk to. So... these are the best, right? Hey, Dalton. I'm going to talk to Dalton first. How are your preparations going? Oh, Lieutenant, preparations are at ease, Lieutenant. Yes, sir. Sorry, sir. Don't worry about it. Everything all right, though? Oh, yeah, everything's fine, thanks. It's just that this is the first time I've actually had to prepare an armored frame for a real mission. Every other time it's been for a drill or a test or something. I really don't want to screw it up. Hey, take it easy, Cadet. I'm sure you've done a good job. Don't worry, you're gonna be all right. I'm not, because you're doing the checks. No, I'm not gonna say that. But what if I'd done something wrong? Then you and Ensign Cruz would... Slow down a second, Dalton. Poor Dalton. Sorry, sir. No problem, Cadet. Just take it easy. But tell me, have you ever screwed up any of your armor frame drills before? Well, no. Or any tests? No, I guess not. So why would you think you've done something wrong this time? I mean, I just have these crippling self-esteem issues that pervaded my entire childhood. Also, I think... Also, my zipper got stuck. I'm looking at it right now. I'm sorry, I guess I was just a bit nervous. It's all right, Cadet. We all get a bit nervous the first time we have to do something for real. I am personally attacked. Oh, come on, Randy. But I've seen how hard you work and what the Chief puts you through. I'm sure you got it all up to their standards. Thanks, sir. Although she always makes me double check the actuators. What have I forgotten the actuators? Ah! Panic! Panic! All right. I don't want to talk to Vanessa again. Although the prospect of the upcoming mission makes your stomach drop from taking a deep breath, hold a briefly, exhale slowly, calming yourself. Gathering up with your resolve, you kick over to the storage lockers near the hangar entrance, remove a flight suit from one, pulling on your uniform. Man, it taken you much longer to get in the suit on earlier, but thanks to that unwelcome refresher, you now slide into it relatively effortlessly. After closing the clasp on the last of the suit's seals, you take the helmet from the locker and tuck it under your arm, turning it back to the face of main hangar. Ooh, music just went away. Hanson and Vanessa's bickering doesn't seem like it will end anytime soon, so with a weary exhalation, you float forward, vaulting the guardrail, kicking off it, sending yourself towards Hanson's armored frame. Lieutenant Icarus, reporting for duty. You announce loudly as you grab on the shoulder of the armored frame. Stopping in the middle of what she was saying to Hanson, Vanessa turns to face you. She then pushes off the hangar ceiling and heads towards you, now waiting to arrive to begin her lecture. It's about time you arrived, Lieutenant. You're due to depart in a few minutes. What exactly do you think you're doing turning up this close to mission start time? I'll remind you that I'm responsible for overseeing this assignment, so you won't have your lack of timekeeping impacting the outcome. Now if... Before she gets much further into her tirade, Vanessa is caught by Hanson, who floats in between the two of you and into the cockpit of the Juno. Ensign Cruz, ready for departure. He states lazily before disappearing in the armored frame, taking Vanessa's attention away from you and back towards him. And don't forget, Ensign, I'm counting on you. Vanessa calls into the cockpit. If Hanson answers, you don't hear it. Well then, Lieutenant, have you got everything you need for the mission? I don't see you carrying a PST or a guide from the chief of removing the O'Brien's black box, didn't you? Hey, Lieutenant! The chief's loud call comes from the hangar entrance. You see her heading towards you with this large off-white object on her one arm and a manila folder in her hand. As she's halfway across, she launches the object at you. Although you manage to grab it with your free hand, its momentum pushes you back in the armored frame and you hit it with more force than you'd expect. Man, Chief just hurled it from downtown! It takes you a second to recover, but once you do, you realize the Chief's just pitched a briefcase-sized portable computer at you, the PSD. Yeah, get here, buddy. By the time you're able to find its handle, you get a grip on it. The Chief arrives at the Juno and holds on to the machine. I had to grab the one you left in engineering. I charged it up, but these devices get pretty thirsty, so it took a while. And here's the instructions for removing a black box. The O'Brien's are swift like the dog, so there shouldn't be any difference in procedure as long as you follow this to the letter. Ignoring Vanessa, the Chief proffers a manila folder containing a few sheets of paper. Rearranging your hold on your helmet, the PST, and your grip on the armored frame, you just managed to take the folder from her. Black box guide. Gotta take the black box guide. Make sure nobody takes my black box guide. You glance back to Vanessa, who hovers behind you, an increasingly deep scowling form on her face. Before you have the opportunity to acknowledge the lieutenant, the Chief lays a hand heavily on your shoulder, returning your attention to her and almost making you drop the folder. Don't forget, Lieutenant, the PST needs access verification to open doors, so your ID won't work on the O'Brien because you've not been assigned to it. You'll need to use the ID of on the O'Brien's crew to get anything working. All right, thanks for the heads up, Chief. All right, thanks for the heads up, Chief. If that's the case, would you mind hanging on to these till I get back? Sure thing, Lieutenant. Anyway, I've got engines to be reactivating. Although I've already queued up the startup reaction, so now I'll like Chief Engineer Cathis. Right. We both got things to get on with. Good luck out there, Lieutenant. Without patting your shoulder, the Chief launches himself out of the armored frame and back towards the hangar entrance. Chief Engineer Cathis, respect my authority! Vanessa yells Willis you to pull herself forward, her lower lip quivering with anger as she watches the Chief pass over the guardrail towards the stairwell leading out of the hangar. Unless she remains silent, you can see the rage building in Vanessa. Like a really angry orange cat. Her slight frame seems as if it could explode at any second. As suddenly as possible, you attempt to make your way into the Juno's cockpit without attracting your attention. You've already noticed that Dalton has disappeared from view, and you hope to achieve the same thing before the lieutenant and director scorn at you. Unfortunately, as you lower yourself into the Juno's cockpit, the case of the PSC strikes the armored frame surface, resulting in a loud clang that reverberates. Going somewhere, Lieutenant? God! Save me from this tiny woman! Back away slowly. Her ire is based on movement. Leave quickly. My race is trying to come up with a good way to extricate yourself from the situation. The concept of getting another fight with Vanessa right now is somehow even worse than the thought of sharing a cramped cockpit with Hansen. Lieutenant Icarus heading out. Good luck with commanding the mission, ma'am. You announced, throwing the best salute you can manage, considering how full your hands are. Get out of here, Lieutenant. Vanessa hisses, turning her back to you and launching yourself off the armored frame towards the hangar entrance. Watching her float away, you breathe a sigh of relief, thankful that you managed to avoid another conflict with her. God, she sucks. Turning towards the cockpit entrance, you make your way. Soon, the Vanessa Lord Memorial Airlock will be inaugurated. Soon. Pull in the lever that closes the hatch behind you. Navigate cozy with Hansen. With the hatch closing, you can hear the gentle hum in the frame subsystems. One side of your eyes quickly adjust to low light, with the only source of illumination being the occasional backlit dial or readout. You pause for a moment and grit your teeth. This is the first time in years you've been inside the cockpit of an armored frame. It might be a newer model, but it's pretty much exactly how you remember it. Snapping back to the present, you do your best to head off the thoughts. Now you know we'll follow your reminiscing by taking a look around the cockpit to see where you could be sitting. Majority of the cockpit is taken up by the pilot seat, which sits in the center. Oh. Hello? That's her and someone knocking. There's a space on the other side with the addition of temporary passengers. Sure enough, Dalton has attached this fixture into the right-hand side of the seat currently occupied by Hansen. He stashed the PST and the file the chief gave you at the rear of the cockpit. Pull on helmet, fasten his final seals, and strap yourself on the passenger seat. Well, as you do of the buckles, you look across at Hansen, who you realize hasn't said a single thing since you've entered the cockpit, which for Hansen is new. Hello? I think Gin's just going in and out of her sewing room, and I think it's knocking. You've been too preoccupied with getting away from Vanessa to notice but now that you're actually paying attention to the ensign, you see that his chest is rapidly rising and falling with every breath. The kitty is not knocking that loud. If the cat was knocking that loud, I have a different problem on my hands. Oh my god. On top of that, his hands both grasp the flight sticks, squeezing them tightly and releasing them, a motion he repeats over and over. Despite the fact you're looking right at him, he hasn't noticed you. Instead, his focus is purely on the monitor in front of him. Hey, Ensign Cruz? Are you, okay? There's a slight delay, but a second after you ask, Hansen releases the grip on his flight sticks and turns to face you. The intense expression he'd had is just suddenly replaced by his normal countenance. What? I was just asking if you're okay. Of course I'm okay. What are you talking about? We're not all cowards like you. Can't even launch an AF. You take a deep breath in and exhale slowly as you look away. You weren't sure what you'd be expecting, but at least Hansen seems like his normal self. Thankfully, any follow from him is cut off by Vanessa's face appearing on the comm screen and her voice in the frame speakers. Oh no, it's in here. Skirt. Gundog 1, this is Lieutenant Lord. It's 1630 Jovian Standard and the mission has begun. Please confirm you're ready for launch. Copy that, Lieutenant Lord. This is Ensign Cruz of the Gundog 1. All systems ready for launch and waiting for unauthorization. Understood. Authority granted. Stand by, Willis. Your transported take off. Beep boop. Yeah. That. 1 second. Goodness me. Poor nose. I don't know what it is about this game, man. Now that Judas monitors haven't turned on yet, you can tell the vibrations you're feeling are being lowered from the hangar. Activating all systems. Now. All at once, the monitors come to life, illuminating you and Hanson in their glow. Gundog 1 ready. Gundog 1 releasing all restraints. Gundog 1 launching. Oh, I'm in space. Oh no. I'm in space. No. Once the armored frame is free from its restraints, Hanson slams the flight sticks forward in unison, sending the Juno hurtling away from the Gundog, causing it to shake with the acceleration. As the cockpit shudders, you unconsciously grab onto the straps, keeping you in the passenger seat and squeeze them tightly. Ah, space! I don't like space! With the frame continuing to accelerate, you do your best to keep a neutral expression, but despite this, Hanson looks across from you and notices your grim experience. You're in a suit with a friend. No, I am not with a friend. One of those two things is correct, Rand Davis, and I think you know which one. What's the matter, Lieutenant? Feeling flight sick already? No, I'm fine. You lie. Sure. Just sit back and watch how a real pilot handles nap. Yeah, look at me. I'm Hanson. I'm cool. In my own head. Although you thought Hanson had launched a maximum thrust, he somehow manages to find an extra burst of acceleration, causing the cockpit to shake further, doing nothing to help the nausea you feel. If you throw up, sir, your helmet stays on. Eventually, Hanson eases up on the acceleration and the juddering stops. Though you're still... I hate when the sound cuts out when I'm in space. I hate it when that happens. It does not jive with me. I don't like it. Not one bit. You slowly begin to feel less like the little food you've had a lot of time per day will be reappearing inside your helmet. As Juno continues to cruise forwards and Hanson both sit in the near silence of the cockpit. Oh, thank you. Welcome back, music. I loved you so. With no real indication of distance between you and the O'Brien or the speed you're traveling, it's difficult for you to keep track of time that journey drags on. There's no way for you to be exact, but it feels like at least half an hour has passed with neither of you saying anything. Look at this two cool guys going on a cool road trip with my best friend who I hate the most. Eventually, the oppressive silence, coupled with your increasingly desperate desire for a distraction, forces you to think about something you never thought you'd do: willingly start a conversation with Hanson. We're asking about Haru, baby. What's up with them? What about Haru? How long have you known Haru? What are you asking? I'm just asking how long you've known Haru. Why? Are you into them? Are you into them? What? No, I was only... Oh man, I can't believe you're into Haru. They're gonna love this. I'm not into Haru. Does Quinn know? Ensign. Oh man, maybe she does. Maybe that's why you're asking. Damn, no wonder you're asking. I knew you two were both freaks. Just shut up, Ensign Cruz. God dang it. Anyway, how about we talk about the ship, huh? You stare before trailing up quickly as Hanson doesn't acknowledge you at all. How long have you been on the Gundog? Hanson gives you the briefest flicker of acknowledgement, but doesn't take his eyes off the main monitor. What? I was just asking how long you've been on the station of the Gundog. Why? You're only seconds into this conversation. It's already one you're beginning to regret. I just, thought I'd ask. I'd heard people talk about your piloting and... Yeah, well, people can say whatever they like about my piloting. It doesn't make a difference because I've been stuck on this junk of a ship for a year. Not that it matters. Every other pilot in the JCF is doing nothing but drills right now, so who cares where I am? A fresh, uncomfortable silence hangs in the air between the two as you mentally scramble for a response. Oh, we got the eye glare now. We got the eye glare coming out of his helmet. So what you do to be on this ship anyway? How'd you screw up? Your first instinct is to fire back that you aren't a screw up like him, but you can't admit that Cassie had your transfer put through as a favor without the risk of it getting back to Vanessa. I didn't screw anything up. I just got transferred here short notice to fill the role, that's all. Whatever, sir. You don't get dumped on the Gundog unless you screwed up or are defective, so what is it? Neither. Yeah, sure. If I ask him about it again, it's the same conversation. What? Checking why. Okay. Same conversation. Alright. Forward ahead. What a pleasant experience this has been hanging out with Hansen. Oh boy. Everything's great on this ship. Thank God Cassandra is around. As the two of you continue your flight towards the O'Brien, the quietness of the Juno's cockpit adds to the sense of tension you feel between yourself and Hansen. Despite not engaging with or even acknowledging you, you can't help but feel a tense sense of pressure. Feel a sense of pressure. Hansen's simple presence continues to put you on edge. Oh my god. Hi, Zetsu. Welcome to the pond. And yes, the bestest friend. Man, just my good friend who I can't stand to have a conversation with, the bestest buddy. You mull over a few potential topics for conversations but can't come up with anything that sound weird or forced. I love that freaking emote. Oh my god. I'm a big Metal Slug fan. Eventually, you resign yourself to the fact that the rest of the journey will just have to continue on its way for as long as it takes. You shift in your seat and adjust one of the belts tightly. With a sigh, you make yourself as comfortable as you can, settling into the silence. Yeah, Vi, it's just the friend that I gave a brief high five to, by way of electric gun to the thigh. That best friend. In terms of my best friends, the Johnny Knoxville of pilots. Who knew? Guys being guys. With no other sounds beyond the most almost imperceptible background noise of the cockpit and the Juno's monitor showing nothing but stars, your mind drifts, bouncing from thought to thought. The warmth of the cockpit and the gentle vibrations caused by the shuddering of the Juno's engines cause your thoughts to idle and slow. Eventually, without realizing it, you begin to drift off to sleep. Oh, I'm just taking a little nappy nap. That's fine. It was completely gone when both you and Hansen sit upright and you fix your attention on the main monitor. Although there's nothing to see beyond the stars and the visual indicator, you know this means the O'Brien is close by. We almost there, boyos! We're here. Hansen mutters to himself as he begins to flick switches on the control panel to his side. You watch silently as he works the pedals and flight sticks to reduce the Juno's speed. I'm the best little passenger, alright? I'm just not my fault I get a little eepy. I'm a eepy little lieutenant, you know? Gundog, this is Gundog 1. We've got target lock on the objective. I repeat, this is Gundog 1 and we've got target lock on the objective. Hansen scowls at the communications screen as it returns nothing but static, an indication that it hasn't picked up any incoming signal. He quickly resets the switches on the control panel before activating them again. I repeat, Gundog, this is Gundog 1. We've got target lock on the objective. Do you read? Piece of junk! His foot strikes the paneling underneath the main monitor, causing it to flicker momentarily but doing nothing to help obtain a signal. With the O'Brien now visible on the screen, you remain silent as Hansen continues to deactivate and reactivate the Juno's transmission system. Gundog, this is Gundog 1. We've got target lock on the objective. I repeat, Gundog, this is Gundog 1. We've got target lock. God dang it, Lord! Where the hell are you? Hello! Hello! This time, Hansen's fist strikes the main monitor. Thankfully for both of you, the reinforced glass of its screen remains undamaged. Hey, now we only have to deal with Hansen instead of Hansen and Lord. Hooray! Good news, bad news. I'm completely cut off by my ship, so it's more of like a kind of situation. You move as far away from Hansen as the restraints of your temporary seat will allow. You always knew you was hot-headed, but that didn't make this any easier to deal with. Look, I am the superior officer here. Calm your ass down. To attempt reestablishing contact with the Gundog, each time he does, his efforts are met with the same familiar static. Come on, what's wrong with this piece of crap? Gundog, come in. Ah! Hey, come on, take it easy. You tell him, holding both your hands up, palms forward in a placating gesture. Don't you tell me what to do in my frame, Icarus. Hansen snaps back, continuing to flip switches and occasionally striking the controls. Ensign, that's not going to do any good. Yeah? What do you know? You can barely contain the long, exasperated sigh you feel building inside you, but you manage not to express it. No, you'll just set Hanson off more. Instead, you tell him what you remember the chief telling you earlier. Before all this started, the chief said she was having problems with the long-range communication systems. It was causing issues to our transmissions to the O'Brien as well as the targeting system. Ha! I knew that would come up again! Probably not fixed yet. Might even be made worse with the power went out. So what? We're out here with no mission control? You pause, crossing your arms and shrugging. I guess so. Yeah, of course. Can't expect Ian to go to plan when that ship's involved. This is Gundog 1, in case anyone out there can actually hear us. We're approaching the JFS O'Brien. We're carrying out the visual inspection of the O'Brien now. The O'Brien now close enough for you to actually make out its finer details. Hanson decelerates the frame, bringing it to a nearly complete stop. Definitely adjusting the Juno's orientation, he then begins to circle the Swift-class ship and the two of you focus on the Maunder, trying to identify anything out of the ordinary on the O'Brien before you get any closer. Wait a second, is that? You point to the O'Brien's main airlock and Hanson quickly sets a camera to zoom in on it. Wide open. Looks like someone tried the same stunt as you. Oh my god. Airlock is open. Y'all. Ship does look cool though. You are totally right on that, Rand Davis. No, that's not it. I closed the secondary airlock door behind me. Both of those are open, which means the ship must be completely depressurized. Yeah, this happened when the power was off. None of the emergency bulkheads would have been able to close. The two of you sit in silence, both considering what you've just found out. The same thing happened in the O'Brien as the Gundog, that someone had opened both airlocks when what little breathable air was left on the ship would have been sucked out into space. We've still got a mission to do. Come on. He nods silently in agreement as Hanson, apparently sobered by that realization, moves the armored frame towards the airlock. This isn't necessarily the end, you think. If some of the crew were lucky, they might have been able to get their spacesuits on before they ran out of air. They'd be running low on oxygen by now, but... This is Gundog 1, docking with the O'Brien. Now only meters away from the other ship, Hanson brings the Juno to a complete stop with a surprising amount of delicacy. Has it reach out with one arm, grab hold of the protrusion from the ship, and anchoring itself. Yeah, I mean, I didn't want a sobering moment to happen in this method, but I'm glad he got it. This is not going to be pleasant. All right, let's go. In a well-practiced motion, Hanson released himself from his seat's harness, moving forward to grab the levers open the cockpit hatch. As soon as it's open, you feel the rush of the cockpit's air escaping. Meanwhile, Hanson pulls himself out and steps in the airlock. Having a slightly harder time with the straps on your harness, it takes you a few moments longer to release yourself. Once free, you gather up the PST and the instructions Chief had given you before making your way out of the Juno. Oh, no. Look, at least it's not being out in the freaking void of space. Look, at least it's not as bad as being out in the void of space, but this ain't much better, guys. Oh, I do not like a ghost ship. I do not like a ghost ship. I don't like the fact I'm gonna find ghosts. Two of you tentatively make your way from the airlock itself through the burrow beyond. Although nothing is obviously broken or wrong, the fact you're standing in an area identical to the one on the gunship, but open to space and completely uninhabitable, sends a shiver down your spine. You look to Hanson to see him mouthing something that you can't hear. Look, Zetsu, the only good space ghosts are the ones that go coast to coast. Yeah, no, Ramon beat me to it. Iron Helix, huh? I'll keep that in mind. You continue to stand there in confusion as Hanson virtually gestures at you until you look exasperated. It takes you a moment, but you realize what's going on and reach up to the radio on your chest panel, flicking the switch that activates it. It's about time you figure that out, sir. Hanson's voice crackles over your helmet speaker. Unlike the Juno, where the cockpit was pressurized so you could hear each other, you now find yourself standing in a complete vacuum where no sound can travel. So what's the plan? You turn to survey the empty void of the airlock. The first priority given by the captain was assisting the crew of the O'Brien to get their ship back online, but judging the current state of things, you weren't sure you would have much luck with that. The plan, you say to yourself more than to Hansen as you go over the current situation in your mind. That's right, Lieutenant. The plan. Right now you've got rank, so without Lord screeching down our comms line, this is on you. Yes, rip George Lowe. He, an absolute legend, did not get the credit he deserved for Adult Swim in the researchers of that nighttime Cartoon Network block. Dude always deserved way more than he got. Always deserved. Unless you're after a trip down memory lane and I want to sit in the Judo's cockpit whilst I do everything. A mix of shame and anger swells up beside you as you bite your tongue to not stab at Hansen with the first thing that comes into your mind. Stow it, Ensign. Despite the way he said it, he wasn't wrong. With nothing coming from the Gundog, you are now the highest ranking officer involved in this mission. Alright, the first priority was to assist the crew. It doesn't look like anyone's going to be in this part of the ship, but we still need to try. Since I've used the PST before, it's going to be easier for me to carry out that search. Whilst I'm doing that, you can start removing the ship's black box. You hold up the manila folder that the chief had given you to the Gundog, and Hansen takes it from you, clumsily flickering through it with his gloved hands. It's on the bridge, huh? How are you going to get up there? Same way I did in the Gundog. Come on. I never thought I'd be happier to hear creepy music. Oh my god. I hate the silence! Okay then, Lieutenant. Now what? As soon as when the maintenance hatch is located next to the elevator, you take the opportunity to quickly switch your radio off, tell Hansen exactly what he could do next. Switch over to radio, tell Hansen exactly what he could do next, and where he could stick that manila folder, then switch back on. What's next, Ensign, is this. You run your fingers down the seam between the panel and the wall, and you quickly find the catch. Like the one on the bridge, you're able to find the suit's fingers into this one and quickly release it. As the hatch comes away in your hands, you feel the same sensation of air rushing out of the crawlway. Unfortunately, you feel nothing, confirming one of your fears you had about the ship and her crew. Placing the hatch down, you turn to Hansen, saying nothing about your discovery and instead gesturing to the ladder. At the top of this ladder, you'll find another panel like this one that leads into the bridge. To release it, all you need to do is push on the catch from the inside. Think you can handle that? What do you think, Lieutenant? You're not dealing with some dumb security officer here or anything. Let a pilot show you how it's done. With a swagger that's only exaggerated by the bulk of his suit, Hansen strides past you. Steps in the access panel and heads up the ladder. You take the opportunity to turn your radio off again. Tell him what you really think about pilots. Go ahead and fornicate with the engines, Ensign. Once you're done, you switch it back on in case he says any transmissions. Now that you've set him up to work, it's up to you to find any survivors of the O'Brien's crew and use their help to get the ship back online. You look around the empty central hub, the same silence that previously filled the Gundog now filling your helmet. After a moment of contemplation, you head towards the first place you think it may be fruitful to explore. Stop as you enter the room just before the airlock, where you'd been so used to the huge main shutter and its warnings on the Gundog. Nothing but a vast corridor into space. Being able to feel the stars like this from this position can help but feel uncomfortable. Their light, as gentle as it is, feels like a forced intrusion on this room, something they should never illuminate. Spend a few more moments gazing out of the airlock before you shake your head and clear your thoughts. If there was any hope for the Gundog of O'Brien's crew, it was that you act fast. Your stargazing wasn't helping anyone. You begin to turn to leave, but out of the corner of your eye, you notice that the terminal next to the airlock appears to be displaying something. Oh. How does this terminal still have power when everything else is dead? A great question, me. You hurry over to the terminal in case it's displaying something important that it could give you some hint to whether there were survivors left on board. What? What's Cassie's personnel file showing up here for? Oh, that's not freaking good! I don't like that. Stop flashing my girlfriend up on the screen. I don't like that. Put that back where you found it, ghost ship. Hindered by the large gloves of your suit, you attempt to enter a command that would take it back to the terminal's menu screen, hoping to gain access to some of the ship's functionality. After a few keystrokes, though, the screen shuts down, leaving you staring at nothing but dim reflection in the curved glass. What is going on with these files? You tap a few different keys before giving the terminal a whack on its case, even nothing can bring it back to life. Slightly perturbed, make a mental note to ask the chief about it later. For now, you need to get back to finding survivors. Last access on comms was Cassie's, though, right? Was it? Who was the last one to talk to the O'Brien before that happened? Or the fact that she had that, like, lightning bolt kind of go through her head. Maybe that was actually an electromagnetic thing that was actually, connecting with her. Maybe she's transmitting. Or something. I don't know. Bracing yourself with your left hand against the wall by the entrance of the mess hall, you bring your right hand and fist against the door. Continue to pound your fist against the unyielding entry, hoping that if there's anyone in there, they have enough air they'll be able to hear you respond. It's a pretty airtight room. It's one of the places I probably try to go to other than my own cabin. After a few seconds of pounding, you press your helmet against the door, hoping they can pick up a vibration of someone returning your signal. You're met with nothing but silence. You stand back and hammer on the door, harder this time. After your fist begins to ache, you press your helmet back against the door's paneling, holding your breath for activity. No sign of life. I didn't get that little cutscene. You mean with the monitor? It's because I went right back to the airlock? Maybe because I immediately went back to the airlock as opposed to searching the rest of the ship. I was just curious about it. A movement catches your eye. You stop to peer in the darkness ahead and catch sight of a silhouette in the distance. What the crap was that? No! No Cylon! No Borg! None of that crap, alright? I'm not dealing with this right now. I'm having too many problems at the current moment. You're gonna figure your crap out, Ghost Ship. I'm from the Gun Dog. You call out using your radio to broadcast yourself. We're here to help. Come back. As the figure vanishes in the gloom, you dash after it, eventually arriving at the end of the long corridor that makes up the four-side thoroughfare. Yeah, it's a different type of suit. I don't think it's JCF. Whatever the hell it is. Having headed past the two crew quarters, seeing no one down either, you move towards the end of the corridor, a dead end where it's considered the doors to the fire control, the mess hall, and the hangars are all sealed. Did I just imagine it? You turn around trying to see if you'd missed something, but with no sign of life here aside from yourself, you begin to doubt that you saw anything at all. This mission must be getting to me. Better get this over with before I start saying things. Ah! Too late for that. Alright. Into the captain's quarters, baby. You approach the captain's quarters at the end of the corridor and see some Jovian insignia as the one on Bartolomew's door. Below is a nameplate which probably presents O'Brien's captain's full name. Paul Henry Gerard. Gerard. I can't pronounce names. It's my fatal flaw. As with all the other locked doors you'd encountered so far, you begin by bracing yourself before hammering on the door with your fist. A few seconds leading and hearing your response. I'm pretty sure the captain was on the bridge talking with us, so he's not in here, but I'm seeing if I can get some data. The same way that I did, at the time of the blackout, if everything was going to plan, the Captain Murris should have been on the bridge of the Gun Dog, not Cassie. Maybe that's the situation here? You spent a few more seconds thinking about the other optimistic scenarios before turning away and heading back to the corridor. For all our sakes, Captain, I hope you're not in there. Alright, corridor 1. Stood outside of the door that would be yours had you started on the O'Briens of the Gundog, can't help but feel a little nauseous. Familiarity of the door, the corridor, the thoroughfare, it all forced you to think about how close the Gundog came to being out here before the O'Brien. You pushed that thought from your mind. As close as it was to happening, it didn't. You were here, now, not whoever lived behind that door. Balling up your right hand into a fist, you hammer against the door, then place your helmet against it waiting for a response. When you don't get one, you repeat the process a few more times, until eventually you step back, rubbing your hand glove to try to ease the soreness. No one's in? Alright. Let's try fire control. That's a place that has a bunch of monitors on it for cameras. I wonder if I can power them up real fast to see if I can, see if I can get like a quick reading of what they were looking at when they got zapped. You know what I mean? You exhale slowly as you look at the door of the O'Brien's fire control. On the Gundog, Dylan had his music to keep him occupied. Whoever was assigned to this station on the O'Brien probably wasn't so lucky. With this thought in your mind, you carry out the process of hammering on the door, resting your helmet on it, and giving it another go. After a few attempts where you hear nothing coming from the room beyond your step back, mentally crossing this room from your list of potential safe havens. Okay, look, I know you want me to go in the hangar. Fine, game. As you make your way through the gloom of the four-side thoroughfare, you absentmindedly knock on the low-gravity warning sign just before the double doors that leads to the ship's hangar. Place the portable sub-terminal by your feet, you hammer on the door with your fist, hoping that if anyone's in there, they'll hear your signal. After around 10 seconds of this, you stop and press your helmet against the door. If there's any noise in there, the vibration should travel through the door and into your helmet, allowing you to hear it. Guess no one's in there. What the heck? Hey, can you hear me in there? Oh, someone could have gotten into one of the suits. You call out, resuming your hammering on the door, and you get no response. Hey, whoever's in there, we're from the JFS Gundog. We're here to rescue you. Can you hear me? There's definitely someone in there. Although you're still not getting an obvious response, the knowledge that someone is in there fills you with a sense of urgency, and you hurriedly set your suit's radio broadcast. This is Lieutenant Lance Icarus of the JFS Gundog. We're here to provide assistance to any crew of the JFS O'Brien. I repeat, this is Lieutenant Lance Icarus of the JFS Gundog. We're here to provide assistance to any crew of the JFS O'Brien. Come on! You slam your fist in the hangar door one more time. Despite the signs that someone was still alive in there, with no way to get in the hangar and no response on the radio, you feel like you may as well be a million miles away. Picking up the portable sub-terminal, you look from one end of this four-side thoroughfare to another. The presence of a survivor made your need to find a keycard belonging to a member of the crew all the more urgent. Crap. Sick bay, I guess? You reach out to the maintenance crawlway and grab a rung on the ladder. Stepping forward, you place your feet on another. Instead of following hands up, you start moving downward. As you descend, the crawlway becomes completely dark. The only indication that you're given is that you reach the bottom is when you bring your foot and you unexpectedly stomp on the floor. Now at the bottom, you grope around in the darkness, looking for a catch that will release the panel. After a few minutes of sliding your palms around blindly, your suit's glove catches on something. You investigate it with your fingertips to confirm that it's what you're looking for before releasing it, grabbing the panel as it falls away and placing it to the side as you step through the sick bay. Oh no! Oh, there's an actual body in here. With no rush of air to indicate that you depressurize the room, you're almost entirely certain you knew what to expect, but you find it goes beyond that. Behind the desk set to meet those who enter the sick bay, you see the crumpled form of someone wearing a white cloak much like Dr. Rosarium's. You quickly make your way over to them, but as you stop momentarily as you feel something crunching beneath your boots. Looking around, you see the doctor is surrounded by broken glass. Taking stock of the room, you realize that the cabinets at the far end of the sick bay are all still locked, but the glass panels have been shattered and their contents scattered. Instead of trying to puzzle out what's happening, you turn your attention back to the doctor and leaning down by them and gently turn them over. You're faced with a woman who seems to be in her mid-50s, her sandy hair done up in a loose bun with an errant strands tucked behind her ears. You notice that that of the two lenses set into her round, wire-frame spectacles, one is cracked and the other frame sits askew on her face. Although her pale blue eyes are wide open and staring at you, they don't move and she doesn't blink. Her skin is pallid, matching the cool of blue of her eyes, the striking red of her lipstick standing out in the dramatic contrast. You stay holding the doctor for a moment before gently laying her down, and with as much delicacy as you can manage your bulky spacesuit, you close your eyes. As you stand up, you exhale deeply. Although it was almost certain this would be the scenario you'd be facing for most of the ship, since the central area had been depressurized with no safety measures engaged, you'd been holding out hope that you find crew members alive and well. Yeah, I think if the vacuum went out fast enough, glass that's not like reinforced like cabinetry, probably shattered. Or somebody came through, like the person we saw earlier, looking for something. It could be one or the two. Despite the sight of the doctor, you still hold on to that hope. As you survey the room, you turn your attention back to glass underfoot and shattered frontage of the cabinets. What happened here? It looks like she was involved in a struggle down here, but I can't tell whether she died before or after the ship was pressurized. Oh, struggle. So there was somebody here. As you head towards the back of the room to examine the cabinets, you feel the crunch of glass beneath your feet. Although the floor is scattered with various boxes and bottles, your minutes is something in particular that catches your eye. You squat down and pick up an open packet that you recognize. Nutri-Shake Mix. Oh. As you turn the pouch over in your hands and look inside, you find it's completely empty of the powder that should contain. Placing it back on the floor, you look around and realize that whilst all the boxes of medication are still sealed, the packets you can see are torn up in all the Nutri-Shake packets. Would someone really do all this for Nutri-Shakes? How long has the ship been like this? In there right now, no point in opening that door. I so definitely won't help things either. Ah, whoops. If I use the doctor, can I like move her somewhere? As you survey her and notice that, unlike Dr. Rosarium, she doesn't wear her stethoscope around her neck or her key card on a lanyard. Hang on, her key card. Yes, key card. I knew there was a reason to check. That reminds you of the chief's instructions, and you need to use a key card from... Okay, you steal your resolve, wear what you must do, but not finding the concept altogether pleasant. Sorry about this, Doctor. Squatting beside her, you pat the doctor down. Although the thickness of your spacesuit gloves makes the task difficult, you do feel your best to be respectful. Eventually, you reach the doctor's waist and you feel protrusion from her side. Opening her white coat, you see an internal pocket, and after a moment spent trying to fit your glove, grab some and pull it out. Got the key card! Dr. Esri de Boer. You unclasp the pouch on the side of your suit, dispose the card, and then close it again. Doctor won't have the clearance to let me access the central computer, but maybe this will let me find someone who does. Thank you for your help, Dr. De Boer. I'm just sorry you didn't get here sooner. DS9 reference? Is that another character? I don't know a lot about Star Trek, so I'm just kind of like... Well, now that we have the access, we have that. Well, hold on. No, I want to go Central Hub. Nicole de Boer played Esri's next. Oh, sneaky, sneaky. Just like you had in the other closed doors, you go through the process of making noise. All right. Going through. On top of that, there was no point in attempting before you had emergency codes. Yeah, Dr. Bo's cards, which will afford you access, you still need those codes. Okay, so it doesn't let you make a dumb decision. The title of this game concerns me. Hey, Commander, how you doing, man? How you doing? Yeah, this is stories from Soul the Gundog, and currently we're going around a ghost ship. We've already found a body. Everything's great. Oh yeah, we're also here with somebody who hates our freaking guts. Somewhat vibes. Clear the remaining distance without Cindy's head of the bridge. It got worse. She miles to run. Oh my god. Knowing you're about to see it, however, did not make it easier. At the station on the left, you see a slumped figure of a young man. From his uniform and general appearance, recognize him as Lieutenant Bashir, the officer that Cassie had been speaking to moments before the power went out. Unlike when he'd appeared on the Gundog's view screens, all the man he saw was clearly suffered what looked like either a small explosion or a massive electrical shock. The front of his uniform was at his best singed and at worst completely charred, as was his hands and face. You grimace at the thought of what could have happened as you turn your attention to the captain's chair. There, slouching to the right, was the ship's captain, a rictus smile on his face, having seemingly suffered a similar fate. Whatever had happened to these two looks like something entirely different to what had happened to the doctor in the sickbay. Although she'd clearly been injured by something, or someone, the cause of death of these two looked much more obvious. Although the question remained, how? You pause for a moment. You'd almost put your hand down on the headrest of the captain's chair, but you quickly move it away. Something had electrocuted these two, then... Pretty grim, right? Hi, Hansen! Christ! You almost fall backwards in surprise as Hansen's voice suddenly comes from your helmet speakers as he appears on the far side of the bridge. Easy, Lieutenant. It's just me. What, never seen a fried human looks like? What a dick. Bro, they dead. Don't need to be like that. Take a deep breath and exhale, catching the breath that Hansen had just scared out of you. Damn it, Cruz, what the hell are you doing hiding underneath there? Following orders, sir. Remember the plan? Hansen lazily waves the folder you passed him to you. Wait, these guys look like they've been electrocuted. Based on where they are, did you check? Loosen up, Lieutenant. Power's not on. What's there to check for? You can't help but be amazed at Hansen's cavalier attitude towards the risk of painful death via electrocution. Alright. How's reviewing the black box going then, huh? You got a tip for me? Not bad. I managed to get most of the casing undone, but there's a lot going on there, and this suit doesn't make it easy. What about you? Find anyone? You turn to look at the captain and Lieutenant Bashir for a moment before looking back at Hansen. I checked the sickbay and found the ship's doctor. She's dead too. Aside from her, these two are the only crew members I managed to confirm. It's not looking good. Guess that keeps things simple. No survivors. We get this box and we get out of here. What? You want to hang around here a bit longer? He's out of line, but he's right. This was a whole crew, Hansen. Some might still be alive. Guess you better get looking and find them, huh, Lieutenant? Ease up, Lieutenant. I can say this from experience. If everyone's dead, there's no use wishing they weren't. It's not going to bring them back. But if you're going to find them, you should get moving. Probably not much air left anywhere on the ship, even if they're lucky. With another shrug, Hansen walks away from you, headed back to the control station he was hidden under when you entered. Let me know when you're leaving, though. All right, Lieutenant? You still need a keycard belonging to someone on the bridge crew if you were to have any chance of accessing the central computer. There'd be no better card to accomplish that than the captain's. Yep, I gotta grab his keycard. During a shock that must have killed him, had left his hands clasping his arms dressed like talons. His face is gone and his eyes wide open, together with how the corners of his mouth had drawn back as far as they would have. To a horrendous grin, the whole expression was unnerving, as if he'd been killed by a fatal or hilarious joke. It was the Joker! Space Joker! You know that what you need to do is, although it's a practical necessity, something feels wrong. Sorry about this, Captain Gerard. You pat the captain down and find no indication that he's carrying a keycard in his pockets. As you stand back for a moment trying to think if there's anywhere he may have left it, your eyes are drawn to the hand tightly clenching the armrest. You can remember having seen Captain Bartolomew's insert her keycard in the equivalent panel of the Gundog on occasion. A grim wave of realization hits you as you think that if the card wasn't on the captain, the control panel is the most likely place it'd be. The only issue was that Captain Gerard's death grip was covering the slot for the keycard. Alright. It's me versus rigor mortis, let's do this. A shiver runs down your spine. You're just starting to squeeze your fingers underneath his palm and start pulling when, as you look down, you notice the gleam of starlight reflecting off a piece of plastic by the captain's foot. With a huge sigh of relief, you kneel down and take the car from the floor. Lucky for you, the captain must have dropped it before he was shocked. And it's useless. As you pass the car from one hand to another, inspecting the front and back, you see it appears to have all but melted. The plastic coating is mostly stripped away, and what remains is bubbled up, with the remnants of the magnetic strip flaking off. You can tell from its condition it's not going to get you anywhere. Yay! Besides, you lay your hands on the raven card by the captain's hand. Or the access to such computers, no hope for the O'Brien. Well, there is a second in command over here, and the captain in the second should have clearance. Maybe Dr. Lurker knew what etc. The captain's card had been fried beyond usability by whatever happened to him, but maybe Lieutenant Bashir's card would have been more lucky. Should have moved towards the lieutenant and doing your best as gentle as possible. You pat down his left hand trouser pocket. Feel nothing through the thick gloves in your spacesuit. You head to the other side of his chair before repeating the same action. This time you feel something. Sense of unease, you attempt to remove the contents of his pocket while trying not to disturb the body too much. Eventually, with some difficulty caused by the clumsiness of your spacesuit and your desire not to disturb Bashir's body anymore, imagine upon what feels like could be his key card. It's also melted! Yay! What a great time this is! It's been half melted, not only warped out of shape, and plastic coating is blistered. You can tell from its condition that it's totally useless. You wouldn't even be able to fit in any card reader or terminal even though service hadn't been ruined. Great, looks like this won't get me anywhere. Just like the captains, hopefully I can find the second command, otherwise there'll be nothing they can do for the O'Brien. Well, off we go, I guess. Well, I know where I heard some sign of life. That was coming from the hangar. So we're gonna go poke some holes in here. Use door. Without DeBoer's key card, you'll be able to access the hangar. Although there's this chance that whoever's in there may not be a spacesuit yet. If I open these doors now, I risk pulling them out in the vacuum. There may be something I missed that could get me access codes more safely. This time to just charge in there and grab them, but I should really do something with no other option. Okay, so I don't want to risk just barging in there. So I think what I want to do... Can I get into... In possession, you move towards the captain's on the side. You know you're not going to find the Captain Gerard in there, and the chances are anyone else in this course is extremely slim, but the potential that it might have the access codes. Because that's how I got them from my captain, after she got pissed drunk and fell asleep. And now... With a sense of trepidation, you unfasten the pouch. As a security officer, your card had enough authority to access every room short of the central computer, even the captain's. We're entirely sure that a doctor's card would be sufficient. Not much of an alternative, you slide the card in. Thankfully, you see the door begin to slowly open. Yes! We are in the captain's room. Oh, he's got a little plant. It's almost identical to Captain Department with a few small differences. Like the lack of any open bottles of liquor. Man, this captain wasn't fun at all. Placed on the whiskey bottle you see in the Captain Merrill's room, you see a neatly pruned bonsai, but beyond that, there's nothing obviously distinct. Even the artwork on the wall of the desk is the same. Alright, let's try to get something useful. Small bonsai tree. Regular plants are really expensive back on the colony, so getting even the ceiling to start one of these would cost a fortune. People say that the air in a room with a plant it tastes way better than the normal reprocessed air you get in the ship or colony, but I've never been around a plant to try it out. No, I'll just see what it's like that. Just take off the helmet. I guess I can take this back to the Gundog with me, though I don't know how long trees last in space. I should probably leave it alone until I know for certain. I'm coming back for you, tree. You're coming back with me, buddy. Anything in the bed? Just tidier. On the edge of the desk close to the door of the quarters, you notice a stack of papers. Based on the same tractor feed of edges you see in the pages, this means they're probably recent documents. Now they're not important. I'll be the judge of that. What could be in those files? Yeah, I getcha. Back to the desk, trade drawer. We're going right top to bottom. Yeah, they're all locked. Hesitate for a moment to consider whether or not you should pick up the files in front of you. Yes, you should pick up the files in front of you. Everyone's freaking dead. There is no chain of command. Take the files. Although it will be explained that you've gone on to help O'Brien investigate, you take the file in hand and read the hefty printed text. They have a report from the O'Brien. Flicking through the reports is made difficult by the clumsiness of your spacesuit, but you've skimmed your way through. Scan the pages of general day-to-day ship operators, see if you can find anything out of the ordinary. A few curious entries among the expected information catches your attention. April 8th, JFS O'Brien's routine patrol path adjusted to investigate erratic Higgs field distortions in outer limits of JCF territory. Investigation reveals significant residual boson distortion, inconsistent with standard JCF drive output. JFS Gundog dispatched to support with investigation. 21st, continuous sweep of the area surrounding distortion fields, unknown object. Finds unknown object. Not recognized as Jovian, Martian, or Solar Federation. Ensign Butte instead dispatched to retrieve. Object onboarded at 1927. Long-range communication systems remains down. Source not yet identified by Chief Engineer DeForge. Wait, I know the name DeForge. That's something. O'Brien moved to rendezvous point to meet JFS Gundog for duty transfer. They found something and brought it on board. Oh no! This is not good. Rendezvous with JFS Gundog behind schedule. Chief Engineer DeForge investigating unknown object for potential cause of communication failure. Destructive investigation authorized. He tried to open something. He shouldn't have. And now they all did. Around the time they took whatever this unknown object is on board. Unknown object, huh? Although you can't think of anything important you might find in the captain's bathroom, you feel compulsion to search anyway. Despite a thorough examination, the only thing that leaves you that you didn't have when you entered was in-depth knowledge of the captain's choice of bathroom products. There's time and place to think about my civil heritage. Now's not that time. Yeah, right. I'm looking at those files, and all of a sudden, like, saliva drips onto the folders, and I'm just like, oh god. You take the look. Working your way from left to right, you check the large chest of drawers from under the bedside table, eventually the area around the bed. Check you can't find anything interesting or useful, just personal effects they can't help rifling through. Okay, it's just gonna repeat. So what I need is the captain's keys. So I'm assuming what I want. This is to serve the captain any further. I'm probably even though I don't want to be pre-video help even if you needed it. Let's see here. He twisted on. Oh! And opened the door, reaching in, grab the suit's breast part, attach and turn on the signal, huh? Check your radio set the same broadcast frequency as the O'Brien's, and replace the other suit's radio set yours to transmit. Oh, that's smart. I didn't even thought about doing that. Thank you, character. This is Lieutenant Lance Icarus of the JFS Gundog. We're here to provide assistance to the crew of the JFS O'Brien. I repeat, this is Lieutenant Lance Icarus of the JFS Gundog. We're here to provide assistance to any crew of the JFS O'Brien. Well, that didn't work. Well... Let's see, where do I need to go next? Well, I didn't go into the crew quarters here. Engine room? No, that's the thing. I don't want to open up the, I need to get the access codes before I go in there, because I'm afraid I might lock myself in. Would be the interesting extended corners make you feel uneasy. You've been doing your best not thinking about it now, aside for some of the lucky coincidences. This could have happened to the Gundog. Who spends their free time on the other side of this door? Is that as much of a mess as Cassie's room? How close are the two of you, from having this happen to you? Now's not the time. You might yourself sitting and force thoughts away. Check for signs of life, unfortunately get nothing back. Where could I go to find the captain's keys? I go back to sickbay. Alright, not gonna mess around with the doctor more. It looks like there's nothing really here. Yeah, all I got is that, the access card, and the portable system. Maybe there's something I'm missing on the bridge. Like, is there something on the ground I'm not seeing? No, we're not dealing with like pixel stuff. Maybe I haven't looked long enough in the captain's quarters. Now I'm trying to figure out like a way I can find these command things before I go and anywhere else. I don't see anything here. The other captain's keys is no getting these drawers open. I'm not going to waste the oxygen trying to break into them. Where would his keyring be? If it's not just melted on him, you know what I mean? Obtain access codes. Find the first officer. Wait, first officer's quarters. So the first officer wasn't who was up there. Not in the mess hall. Where the heck could the first officer even be? And now I won't go to engineering. There's no sense of trying to get through there with the emergency access codes reactivated. I need to just get stuck. I don't think I have any other options here, right? Oh, wait. Wait a second. Tries to join between the two elevator doors. I bet the first officer may have been stuck in the elevator just like Hansen was. You then press the helmet to the door, hoping to pick up anything. Nothing. Nothing. Dang it! I thought I was on something there. I didn't even realize there was doors there, actually. Anything about asking if he needs any help or asking if the considering you'd like a response to your question is against it. Okay, I can't even talk to Hanson anymore. Then you might have gone on and said you see a stiff body, the captain. You literally see signs of whatever had happened to him, but she had also happened to him. Burns cover his skin. What happened was, like the rest of the bridge you see there, every system was offline, nothing more than rows of dead screens. Yeah, I might have to open that door hanger. The damage rule out an explosion or catastrophic malfunction, leaving you to assume that you must have somehow received a massive electrical shock. I mean, he didn't have any tech that you've seen. What could possibly have happened to O'Brien to cause all this? Looked like anything there was gone. Instead, you can see Hanson underneath it. You hear the occasional muttering and grumbling over your radio as he struggles to remove the box. I mean, that's just kind of it, right? Yeah, and then repeating the signal thing. They won't even let me go any other places. I think I just have to suck it up. So I'm going to make another save here. A just in case thing. Don't open the door. All right, time for the card. All right, we've done this. Noticing the absence of any signs of depressurization, you continue to force your way through the doors. As soon as you're through, you vault your way down the stairwell, skipping increasingly more steps as gravity disappears. Setting your radio to broadcast with one hand and grabbing the guardrail in front of you the other, you call out to the dark void. Hello, is anyone in there? Hello, this is Lieutenant Lance Icarus of the JFS Gundog. We've come to help. Hello! You peer into the darkness, trying to see any signs of life. You knew that you'd hear activity from near the other side of the door, so where were they? What? 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 Oh, that's not good. Oh, that is not good. You stand frozen in place, unable to move your legs, unable to speak as the huge machine that just pulled itself out of the darkness looms over you. Why do I hear a heartbeat? No woo-woo! No woo-woo! There's no woo-woos here! I'm not gonna talk nice in a Martian. Oh, woo-woo. No, that ain't freaking happening. This guy's after my ass.
That escalated quickly.
Yeah, that did actually happen, all right? That happened, hybrid. No ship, no shuttle, armored framework, or worker pod that you know of looks even the slightest bit like this. Kind of looks like a Tachikoma, actually. It's really something to do something, anything. The thing in front of you remains totally motionless until suddenly something deep inside you tells you that you've only got moments to react to whatever is going on. What? Slowly raise both your hands, palms spread, and take a step towards the thing. This is the craft that the O'Brien's pilots had recovered, and there might be a member of the crew that had taken shelter in there, you reason. I'm Lieutenant Icarus from the JFS Gundog. We've come to help you reactivate the O'Brien. You wait for a response, but neither hear nor see anything that indicates whether it is on board has acknowledged you. Whoever's in that thing, I'm Lieutenant Icarus from the JFS Gundog. We've come to. You pause. Oh no! Oh, that's a bad. You pause, having just noticed the sparks of electricity appearing around the most forward protrusion of the machine. Within a few seconds, you see it illuminated with the inside by an intense light. I have made the incorrect decision trying to turn back to my selection. What? Acting entirely on its instinct, you launch yourself sideways, only just in time to avoid a searing beam of light so bright you involuntarily squeeze your eyes shut and look away. As your vision returns, you look at where the beam had focused and see warped and molten metal surrounding a deep gash that runs along the part of the catwalk where you had stood up and then near the wall of the entrance. Woo, boy! Through the vertical slice taken out of the wall, you can see the beam had penetrated all the way to the rear of the stairwell, slicing through the first steps of the progress. Looking back at the machine that just soared through the interior of the O'Brien with ease, you see the same electrical sparks of glowing light in front of the craft. The same surrounding instinct which made you dive out of the way of the last bolt kicks in. You push off the catwalk a split second before another pulse of light lances from the machine, then go find the steel where you stood moments before. Grabbing the edge of the stairwell, you redirect yourself and push off the wall, sending yourself up past the half-melted steps. Time to freaking go! Hanson, time to go, time to freaking go! Hanson, get to the Juno right now, we need to leave! As you bolt from the central hub. Hanson, do you hear me? We need to get off the ship immediately! Oh, crap! Oh, here is not safe! We are not safe! Hanson! Hanson! We have to go! As you pass the boundary into the central hub, the corridor behind you is illuminated with another intense white flash. You don't turn around since you continue at full speed. I don't need to see it again! I've seen it plenty! It's time to go! Hanson, I'm serious! We didn't get out of here when the ship's torn to pieces. Got off the bridge! Your mind races. You're doing your best to formulate a plan when you look back at the four-side thoroughfare, see it scored with huge cuts that run from the floor to ceiling. The liquefied metal of the ship construction framing their pads. Ah, damn it! The same instinct that had saved you in the hangar kicks in. As you head towards the open cockpit of the armored frame, you try to remember the startup sequence that will let you pilot out of here. I'm just gonna leave, Hanson? Christ! You begin to climb up the Juno's chest as you reach the top and look inside and see the pilot seat empty. Ugh! God dang it, Cruz, where are you? Looking back towards the entrance of the airlock and see no one in the distance, you know you have one choice to make. I'm not leaving Hanson behind. He's a dick, but he's part of my crew. I'm his commanding officer, and I will make sure he gets out of there. You cry in frustration, slamming your fist in the cockpit hatch. Despite every reason you have it screaming at you to run, you know you can't abandon Hanson. Regardless of his personality, he's still a crewmate. Your eyes fix on the corridor leading into the airlock as you wait for him to appear. You know he hadn't received your radio message, but he must have seen what was happening to the ship at the bridge. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Like, he can't be stupid enough not to see light just showing up in the ship, right? You mutter, your right leg beginning to twitch in anticipation. Oh, Jesus! We're waiting, baby! As the beam of energy tears through the airlock floor and ceiling, you barely react. You made your decision. You're going to wait for Hanson until the last possible second. We are doing some FF6 stuff right now. We're not leaving Shadow behind. Cruz, you asshole. You better get yourself into the Juno right now or I swear to God You'll what, sir? At the entrance of the room containing the airlock, you see Hanson, black box under one arm, running at full speed towards you. I'm here now. Guess it's a shame I won't see what discipline you have planned out for me. Hanson, shut up and get in the robot. Get in the robot, Hanson. Hanson, shut up and get us out of here. Whatever you say, sir. Why are you so nonchalant about the Martians shooting up the ship? Hanson, this is a problem. You had to identify this as a problem. As soon as he's in the you enter after him and quickly buckle yourself in. In just a few seconds, Hanson pulls a lever that seals the Juno's cockpit and works his way through the entire ship's startup sequence. Even before the main monitor is active, he pulls back on the flight sticks and you'll feel the rumble of the Juno's engines move as the armor frame gets away from the ship as the main view switch is on, showing the O'Brien shrinking in the distance. What did you do? One minute I'm pulling out the black box, next I can see a light show going on outside and some kind of laser beam nearly cuts me in half. I didn't do anything. There was something in the hangar, then it went off. It was tearing the whole ship apart from the inside. Hanson, he is a butthead. So you tripped in AF's weapon system or something? I can't let you anywhere near these things without you causing problems. You're about to continue your protest at Hanson when you see a column of light penetrate the surface of the O'Brien. What the fuck? That's it. It's got to be some sort of prototype AF or something. We've never seen a weapon like it. Tore through the O'Brien's hole like paper. What the hell kind of weapon is that? Oh, what? Now you're starting to freaking figure out that maybe crap was gone sideways? No idea, but we need to. Take it out. We can't talk to the gun dog anyway. Something's jamming it, so you know what? Hesitation's gonna kill us. We need to stop it, whatever it is, before it can do what it is. Do this to the gun dog. Hey, look at our lieutenant. Who knew you had the stones? Guess it's easier to make the order than follow through, though, so don't think you're hot stuff yet. Cruz, would you just... Before we get finished, Hanson slams the controls forward, pushing you back in your seat and sending the Juno directly towards the enemy at top speed. As you struggle with the frame's acceleration, you look across the Hanson who's leaning forward, a deep scowl on his face, with the chest visibly rising and falling. It wasn't even your fault. Yeah, there's a lot of crap happening right the F now. So, looking back at the main monitor, you see the O'Brien growing at an alarming rate as the targeting reticle on the screen shifts back and forth in approximate location of the target. As suddenly his handset had started towards the unknown machine atop the O'Brien, he brings both feet on hard and the pedals attached to the bomb in the pilot seat, causing the Juno to suddenly jet upwards. Oh crap, hi! This maneuver is quickly followed by both flight sticks being yanked backwards, bringing the armored frame to a halt just above the target. As the reticle coalesces over the enemy machine, Hanson pulls the trigger and it fires off a slew of bullets, which fly through space that had been, until moments before, occupied by the mysterious enemy. See small explosions as the rounds rip through the innards of the O'Brien. What? Where did it? With a deft manipulation of the controls, Hanson simultaneously rotates the armor frame and sends it flying away from the O'Brien at speeds, as he scours the monitors for any signs of the target. Things fast, too. Oh no! As quickly as it appeared, the unidentified craft appears immediately in front of you, a telltale glowing emanating from the forwardmost protrusion on this main body. In the second that he had to do so, Hanson had detached the Juno's shield and hurled it at the machine, disrupting its beam and buying him the precious moments needed to retreat at full speed. Run! Freaking run! No, it's too fast! Do something, Hanson! Prove yourself freaking useful! Ah! God dang, what the hell is this thing? Once again, Hanson surveys the surrounding space, trying to find an elusive, deadly enemy. There, it's heading right towards the gun dog. You point towards a small pulse of light amongst the stars showing the screen. His scowl deepening, Hanson once more pushes the controls of the Juno to their limit, moving to pursue the attacker at top speed. Come on, yeah, that's right, Viathon. Alright, Flyboy, let's see you freaking in action. You were the only person to come back from that doomed mission. As the enemy shrinks into the distance of the Juno's monitor, Hanson doesn't let up on the speed, maintaining the high level of acceleration. The tremors you can feel in the cockpit grow more intense the faster the armor frame moves. Grabbing onto the straps holding you in place with both hands, you pass your eyes over the readouts of the cockpit's various dials and monitors. Almost all of them are flashing warnings or alerts, with the needles and the majority of the gauges deep in the red. Cruz, if you keep this up, the Juno's gonna fall apart. Slow it down. Hanson smirks at your orders, scoffing as he somehow finds more acceleration that increases the vibrations to the point that you feel like they'll shake you to pieces any moment. This is my Juno, Lieutenant. Don't tell me how to treat her. She's not as delicate as she looks. And we're gonna need all she's got to get back to the gun dog before that thing. Cruz, if you get back, we're dead. Yeah, you can write me up as to the captain when that happens. It sucks, but he's freaking right. It's on. You groan and close your eyes, trying to ignore the beeping that started, and the high-pitched whining that you hear coming from the back of the cockpit. You're aware of every second that passes as the two of you race back to the gun dog, the tension worsened by the near constant screaming of the warning systems. With Hanson in control, all you can do is hope that you get back in time before the gun dog can be cut to pieces by the weapon you'd seen make a short work of the O'Brien. You've lost track of how long you've been pursuing the enemy, when suddenly some garbled static bursts from the speakers. This shrill and panic voice screeches at you. Oh no! We're being raided! Oh my god, is this a Viking raid? I see that emote. Hello, everyone. Hello. The Call of the Mech draws us in. Thank you for the follow. Oh my god, you're coming at a hell of a time. We have identified an unknown enemy assailant that's faster than us, stronger than us, and heading straight to our home ship. And we are trying to chase him down. We may not be a Gundam, but by God, we may have found one. Unknown mechs! Yes, we have unknown mechs. I repeat, this is Lieutenant Lord of the JFS Gundog. We're under attack by an unknown enemy unit. You need GCFs to raise, please respond. Lord, this is Gundog 1 approaching the Gundog at Cruz, where have you been? Get back to the ship right now. We're under fire from something. Hansen rolls his eyes as he's cut off by Vanessa's demand. Roger that, ma'am. Gundog 1 returning now! Shaking his head rather than following up with an answer, Hansen quickly flicks a few switches, and you see the readouts on some monitors switching to display information about their armor frames weapon systems. As he does this, you turn your attention to the main monitor. In the distance, you can see small lights flickering in and out, surrounding and pointing to space. The online informs you that this is the Gundog. Oh, you can see the outward weapons are firing off right now, wherever the hell's flying around it. With the Juno approaching the ship at speed, you can see that the lights are actually rounds being rapidly fired from the Gundog's point defense system, a collection of rotary cannons mounted on the turrets along the ship's exterior. Oh, our boy Deez is on this case! You can tell from the short burst of the erratic shifts in the direction they're firing at the machines, Ren and the O'Brien is moving both quickly and unpredictably, with the automated cannons unable to keep up. Lord, this is Gundog 1, we're back at Cruz, what the hell is this thing? How would I know? Useless! You hear Hansen mutter something under his breath, too quietly for the communication system to pick up. Just destroy it. We've already taken some of the heavy hits in the porthole. Yeah, I get it. Just tell Deez to watch that anti-air. As the Juno closes in on the Gundog. Oh, there he is! You watch the trajectory of the shots being fired from the point defense, knowing that they indicate where the enemy machine was, rather than where it is. See, yeah, you can see it coming in and out, but that's the enemy ship that we found in the hull of this of the ship that we were going to go find. Yeah, you know how we found it, by the way? We went into the freaking hangar, and it showed up. Came up over the railing and fired directly at us point blank as a person. It was not good. Nobody had fun. Sword Cat, no! Based on the speed at which it's moving, you know that you're going to have a chance of taking this thing out. You need to figure out a way to get ahead of it. You're about to make this observation to Hansen, but you see a deep focus on his face, his eyes tracing the path the enemy moves along as it weaves through the barrage coming from the ship. It was a little fun. It was something, all right. With a sudden flurry of motion at the controls, Hansen adjusts the armored frame's trajectory, setting it soaring uncomfortably close to the Gundog's bridge, just in time to intercept the strange craft as it rises up from the far side of the ship. Yeah. Reusing the same evasive maneuvers, amateur. Hansen yells. Slamming down the pedals, Hansen positions the Juno over the top of the enemy, and you hear a heavy click as he pulls the trigger on the right flight stick. Too easy! Send off the rocket shots! Direct hit! As the rounds from the machine gun slam into the target, Hansen presses down on the button on the left flight stick, sending a volley of missiles roaring away from the Juno's shoulder pod and directly into the enemy, engulfing it in an explosion. Doesn't matter how powerful the machine is if the pilot's no good. What? As the smoke clears, staring back at you is the machine that you just seen hit by a swarm of missiles, each one individually powerful enough to destroy another armored frame. Instead of being totally destroyed, the craft looks completely fine. You don't see a hint of a scorch mark anywhere on its armor. What is this thing made of? Hansen snarls, pulling the trigger on the right flight stick again, this time emptying the entire magazine into the target. Oh, it's not even trying to dodge. By the way, that charging laser is what was staring us directly in the face when we stepped into the hangar as it's just a regular pilot. So that was what our introduction to this thing. As a totally indifferent to Hansen's assault, the craft turns to face you, and you see an increasingly bright light begin to build in front of it, with sparks and cracks of electricity running along its nearby surfaces. Move! Don't tell me how to pilot! The Hansen yells back at you as you navigate the Juno away from the beam that tears through the space you just occupied. Only seconds after what felt like a moment of triumph, the hit tables have been so thoroughly turned on. you find yourself being slammed from side to side as Hansen executes a rapid series of maneuvers in an attempt to escape the enemy's pursuit. By the way, we're sitting in a side seat right now, and we're getting thrown around. Huge beams of energy blast through the space around you every few seconds as the Juno dives, climbs, rolls, and banks. As he weaves through the hail of bullets coming from the Gundog's own defensive systems, the attacks from the enemy machine, Hansen's breathing grows faster and faster. Hansen, we can't outrun it. Oh, Hansen, we can't outrun it. We're going to need to figure something out. His eyes flicking rapidly back and forth from monitor to gauge his hands, twitching quickly, sending the Juno darting from place to place. Hansen doesn't seem to notice you at all. Hansen! Hansen! What? This isn't working. We need to do something. Don't tell me how to pilot. Stow it. You can't keep this up forever. We need to figure something out. As you yell at Hansen, you get thrown into the side of the cockpit by a high-speed turn that he pulls off just as a huge beam passes overhead, illuminating the cockpit as its brightness fills the monitors. Come on then, sir. What do you have in mind? We should use Dalton's creation. Earlier on, we had Dalton create one of the engineering guys. We did a side quest for him, which created these bullets that could foam up. That can foam up and immobilize a target. Apparently, he loaded those into these mechs earlier on for a training exercise using them. They're still in this thing. Your hacker brain tried to come up with some way to stop this impervious enemy. You just watched it take a direct hit from frame-busting missiles that came away without a scratch. If that didn't harm it, then nothing else the Juno wielded would be able to stop it. Yes, shoot Vanessa Lord out of the airlock. That'll stop this thing cold. Your thoughts race as you try to come up with a solution. How do you destroy the invulnerable? That's it. What? If the missiles won't take that thing down, nothing else you got is going to be able to destroy it. Great. So what, Lieutenant? You think we should just surrender now? Let it destroy us? That's not what I mean. If we can't destroy it, then we need to change tactics. We need to try and disable it. Hansen glances across to you with a sneer, clearly about to criticize your idea before he can respond. His attention is taken by another blast from the enemy's energy weapon, which he evades at the very last moment. Dalton's work had been work on a compound to seal hull breaches, and he's been turning it into the ammunition for the Juno's machine gun, too. If it works, we can trap this thing. That stuff's made to set hard enough to act as a new hull. There's no way it could escape. Hansen scoffs at you despite being in the middle of carrying out a maneuver involving suddenly braking, dropping downward through space and letting the enemy machine fly overhead so he can fire another volley machine gun rounds at its underside. If it works, Lieutenant, what if it doesn't? Are you going to trust that little dork with our lives? Have you got a better idea, Ensign? That's what I thought. As the Juno continues to shake from the strain its engines are under and the sun spins and turns Hansen is making it perform, you manage to lean towards the communication system and press down on a button that allows you to broadcast. Quick, Hansen, deploy emergency tactics, drift lazily to the left. Gundog, this is Gundog 1. Patch me through the Cadet Grange. Don't touch my controls. Shut up, Hansen. I repeat, Gundog, this is Gundog 1. Patch me in through the Cadet. What do you want, Icarus? We're just about to send Roomney out there, but the launch pads are damaged, so they're coming out of the main door hangar. Deal with that for a few more minutes. Nothing we've done to the Junos are going to stop it, Lord. Just put me through to Dalton. He's busy getting Haru's AF out there. I'm in charge of this operation, Icarus, so don't go distracting my... Lord, shut up! Put me through to Dalton right now! What is she doing not inside an airlock? Lieutenant, we're doing our best to get Haru out there. We just need a... Dalton, forget about Haru. Did you manage to make any more of your sealant ammunition? Yeah, I managed to make enough for 2 whole magazines, but... Send it out, now! Lieutenant, I'm not tested. Now, Dalton! Yes, sir! The cockpit shudders as the armored frame breaks suddenly following a tight corner that takes it around the rear of the Gundog and out of sight of the attacker. Although you're slammed backwards, Hansen remains focused and unleash a barrage of machine gun fire just as the enemy soars past you. As you recover, you glare at Hansen. Was that necessary? Never waste ammo, Icarus. Before the other craft can respawn, Hansen quickly maneuvers away from you, and you see the empty magazine eject from the Juno's machine gun. Grange, send the ammo out of the supply launch. Heading 0 Mark 30. Full thrust. Yes, sir. 0 Mark 30. Launch in 4 minutes. Get it done in 2, kid. Yes, sir. Ignore it. I'm not gonna chastise Hanson right now. He's right. Get it out faster. With the enemy back in pursuit, Hanson brings the Juno up to full thrust as he navigates the armored frame above the Gundog into the location you know as the most point defense coverage. The pressure from the sudden acceleration pins you against your seat, but you manage to turn and look at Hanson, the mocking he just given Dalton at the forefront of your mind despite his everything. He watches Hanson's eyes flick rapidly to different screens and readouts. His hands moving almost too fast to perceive as he feathers the flight sticks to simultaneously evade the fire of the Gundog and the attacking craft. Oh, hello! You turn back to focus on the main monitor to see the enemy machine heading straight towards you, a charge that Hanson evades with a feint at the last possible moment. You sigh, thinking it probably wouldn't be a good time to distract the pilot. No, it freaking wouldn't be me. I think I should shut up about this. Oh, crap, hold on. Oh, God, no. Sorry about that, my nose was giving way. Holy crap. I'm so focused in, I nearly just put my nose in the camera. As the attacking craft speeds away into the distance before stopping suddenly and turning on its axis to head back towards the Gundog, Hanson turns the Juno and speeds towards the front of the ship, moving to the location he instructed Dalton to send the ammunition. With the main monitor now focused on the open main hangar door, you can see Dalton, just as ordered, sending a supply launch rocketing towards you. The launch, little more than a large sled with a series of thrusters attached, speeds through the void towards you in a smooth motion. Hanson moves to meet it. He definitely manipulates the armored frame's hands to grip the machine gun magazine tethered to it without needing to stop. Pulling back just in time to evade another blast from the enemy's cannon, Hanson slams the flight sticks forward, sending the armored frame tearing through space and towards his opponent. This better work, Icarus! Before the craft can evade, Hanson brings the machine gun to bear and holds down the trigger, the rounds all meeting their mark. Foam up, baby! Foam up! As the shots land, the enemy machine is engulfed in a sudden expanding mass that billows outward from the point of impact. It spreads all over the surface. Oh, and look, your little freaking energy gun. There's a lot of snot in there now, isn't there? Ha! Within seconds, the attacker is encased in a thick coating of Dalton's compound, which sets as suddenly as it is expanded, gross, leaving the craft's long appendages visibly struggling against the material's shredding properties. Hey, that stuff's not bad. Kid's done good work. But we're not done yet. Hold on, Lieutenant. Despite being almost entirely encompassed in the ceiling, your foe is still heading right at you. Where the hell do you think you're going? Hanson yells, sending the Juno straight towards the enemy. You're not going anywhere! It shoots through holes, but it's going to have a lot of trouble getting through foam that's directly in its systems. With an impact that reverberates violently through the cockpit and armor frame, slams in the oncoming craft. Go to hell! Oh, nighttime! Yeah! Holy crap, that was cool as hell! Hanson did something awesome! Everybody, round of applause for Hanson doing cool crap with a mech! You watch as with rapid sequences of button presses on the right flight stick, Hanson commands the Juno to let go of its machine gun and draw its combat knife. The whole armored frame shakes with each impact as Hanson drives the knife over and over into one of the small portions of the exposed armor, showing amongst the massive ceiling. Ha! Guess the freaking it doesn't stop knives! Your world becomes a cacophony of noise as the clash of the knife on the armored surface of the enemy machine, the screams of the Juno's engines as they struggle to counteract the other craft's thrust, and the various alarms and warnings all fill the cockpit. Go! Down! You! Ah, hell! Suddenly, you're forced back into your seat by a rush of acceleration. Hanson, what's going on? You just about managed to turn your head against the force of the thrust to see Hanson shunting the flight sticks back and forth and stomping on the pedals. Its engines must have cut out, but the controls have gone on ours. I can't stop them. As Hanson continues to struggle with the controls, Vanessa screeches at you over the radio, sounding more panicked than ever. Cruz, you're heading straight for the hangar. Change course, Cruz. I'm trying. Cruz, you're going to... Oh, no. Jesus. Gah! Oh.
That escalated quickly.
Anyway, welcome in, Viking Blonde. I'm thank you for the raid. I hope you're doing well tonight. I hope you had a good amount of fun. I think you're playing Repo. How is that going for you? And for those who don't know,
Emotional damage.
the blurp's rolling in. I'm just glad you're all here, and let's just take a moment, take a nice little drink of some iced tea that I got earlier, and just breathe a little bit. My name is Lance Icarus. I am from the channel Lance Again that you're currently watching. We are playing Stories from Soul the Gundog. It's gotten a little intense, but it's been a very fun game so far. And eventually, if you like mechs, especially ones from the late 80s, early 90s, and you love that kind of drama, this is exactly the kind of game you should be playing. This is fantastic, and you will not be disappointed with the purchase of this game. It's just a whittle. Despite Ensign Cruz gaining an advantage against the unknown enemy craft that attacked the JFS Gundog, a mechanical failure in the engines of his Juno 3 resulted in both the unidentified machine and the armored frame crashing in the ship's hangar. Oh, both of us went in! Lieutenant Icarus and Ensign Cruz were both quickly extracted from the armored frame and sent to the ship's sick bay. Upon being cleared for duty, Lieutenant Icarus was ordered to the hangar to help secure the enemy craft. Outer Jovian space. The hangar of the Jovian patrol ship JFS Gundog. Whoa, what a freaking mess! You stretch your neck from side to side and roll your shoulders as you wait for the captain's judgment. Dr. Rosarium had done his best for the neck injury you'd acquired during Hansen's less than textbook landing, but the captain had been insistent that her sole security officer return to duty immediately. Python, I don't think we can exactly get a say in what gets to be on our ship right now. I know it's a little sudsy, but it's still nice. It still works. As a result, after a cursory once-over, the doctor had given you an anti-inflammatory injection on one side of your neck and an injection of painkillers on the other before sending you on your way. Ah, yes, I also deal with Mondays the same way. This had left your neck numb and with the vague sensation that your head could have become detached at any moment, but at the very least you were up and about. The foam's containing it. It's like when you take... It looks like a double stuffed Oreo with the cookie part off. Surveying the hangar, you know you should be thankful for this miracle. Both Hansen's Juno and the craft that had been fighting had entered the hangar at full thrust. If Dalton hadn't thought quickly and activated every single piece of arrestor gear available, the two machines would have torn straight through the belly of the Gundog. On top of that, they'd slammed into the storage container that held the tank that had been keeping his experimental high-density foam in, causing it to rupture and coat the attacker in the substance of the adhere to the hangar floor. Ah, that's what it is. So those bolts we were aiming, that was where the freaking, they hit the container that was containing all of that. So now we've got what looks like an overloaded washing machine in the middle of our freaking hangar bay. Oh, or like what Rand Davis said, yes. It's impressive how good that kind of foam is in universe. I mean, like, man, we got good foam, man. You take advantage of the foam. With the machine stuck in place, it didn't take long for the Juno's engines to burn out as it pushed against the immovable object. You make a mental note to get Dalton your thanks later. Not only had the rounds loaded with the substance work perfectly, it saved you, Hansen, and possibly the entire ship. Trust the foam! What this did mean, though, is that the mysterious assailant, which had torn the O'Brien to pieces and nearly done the same to the Gundog, was stuck, irremovably for the time being, right in the middle of the hangar. It had shown no activity since it went dead just outside the Gundog, but having one of those eye-like cameras exposed didn't leave you. Is this craft secured, Lieutenant? Oh, yes, ma'am. To be honest, Cadet Grange's foam had done most of the work for us. But the amount of that stuff it's covered with, I don't see it making a move anytime soon. Even the tethers we used aren't really necessary. When we get back to the Europa colony, it'll probably be easier to remove the entire hangar block to get this thing rather than carve it out. Is that so? Yes, ma'am. You wait for a moment as the captain allows your response to a rhetorical question to hang in the air. As far as capture enemy technology goes, this could have certainly gone more smoothly. You feel a retort forming about how indestructible enemies with never before seen weapons bursting out of allied ships isn't something that you get trained for as a security officer. But you swallow that notion. It's been a long day, and it seems to be getting longer. Best to save your energy. Regardless, you've all done good work today, Lieutenant Icarus, Cadet Grange. Oh, ma'am, yes, thank you. Dalton, who'd been lurking at your side like a nervous shadow this entire time, squeaks. The unexpected compliment came him completely by surprise. I mean, that is, if the container hadn't been in that area, we wouldn't have lost so much hangar space. I'm sorry about that. You swiftly but gently elbow the cadet in his side. Take the compliment from the captain's ensign. Which is, thank you, ma'am. Very good, cadet. Well then. The captain once again leaves the sentence trail off half-formed. Whereas this manner of speech had previously left you disconcerted, but it's an indication that there was something that captain was holding back, you found yourself no longer bothered by it. Whether this is because you were used to it or simply too tired to be perturbed was a matter you had quite decided on. Or the fact that my neck is entirely filled with painkillers and numbing agent. That might be a part of it too. Dalton, on the other hand, was still clearly terrified by the concept of being in such a such close proximity to the captain to the point where his nervousness was palpable. If it wasn't for the rustling of his jumpsuit caused by his nervous fidgeting, you felt there was a good chance he'd be able to hear his heartbeat racing. Has the chief... Has the chief... I finished my assessment of the craft, Captain. I wish my neck had painkillers and numbing agents. Yeah, that'd be great. Just... Neck just float. No. Up and away. With an amount of grace that surprised you, the chief, having appeared from underneath the catwalk, grabs onto the handrail and effortlessly redirects her momentum, planting your feet firmly in the walkway you all stood on. Thank you, Chief Cathays. And your assessment? Hard to say. Never seen anything like it. General structure's totally different from the humanoid construction you'd see on an AF. Whatever materials this thing is made of, don't line up with what we see on Martian or Terran machines. Even the samples of that titanium they make on Lunar doesn't have the kind of durability this thing showed. Based on the combat data from Cruise AF, even that had been torn apart. Plus, no indication of a traditional drive system, which... Your security assessment, Chief. You stiffen as a wave of realization hits you, causing a painful twinge in your neck. Oh, damn! The painkillers are wearing off, please! As soon as you get out of the sickbay, the captain had ordered you to secure the craft. In your current state, still running on leftover adrenaline and recently dosed up on medication, you follow that order to the letter, completely forgetting about assessing any potential risks. Right, yes, Captain. There's no sign to indicate this craft is active anymore. No measurable electronic activity, no readings that suggest an active reactor. Looks like the whole thing has been totally shut down. The only reading this shot showed anything was a boson count. It's surrounded by a massive amount of residual distortion. No idea why though. You need a whole inch to put out that amount of registering around it. As far as I can tell, Captain, whatever this thing might be, it's not doing anything anytime soon. I see. And the pilot? If there's anyone in there that they aren't getting out. I've checked over all the visible portion of the structure. There's no trace of a cockpit hatch or entry panel. With how strong Cadet Grange's compound is, there's no way he'd be able to break through. He must have gone pretty heavy on the cyanochrolates, huh, Cadet? The chief asked with a wink. Yes, ma'am. Sorry, ma'am. It's a good thing, Cadet. If you hadn't done this thing, might have been able to tear its way out and continue its rampage around the ship's sides. Oh, thank you, Eon. I learned something today. Best way I could put it, Captain. I hope that we've got enough oxygen and emergency rations in there to last them until we get back to Europa, because we aren't getting them out. And you, Lieutenant? You'd hope that the chief's explanation would suffice, but the captain had turned her attention to you expectantly. Agree with the chief. Why not? I think the Chief Cathays has been just about covered it, Captain. I didn't see anything that looked like a hatch when we were securing it, so I don't think anything's getting out of there. I see. Nothing to add? You spent a brief moment trying to come up with some other comment you could add to what Chief said. Feeling the twinge in your neck layer over the already present exhaustion, you realize you simply don't have the energy. No, ma'am. Well, that makes life easier. Swift classes weren't designed with Briggs. The captain takes a moment to move to the rails and places her hands onto them, resting what little of her weight remains to the slow gravity on the support willist, also drumming her fingers against them. Hanger is low gravity, by the way. I don't know if you've all pieced that together, but just letting you know. That's why people are just kind of flying around. As you watch Captain Barter muse, you see the brief glimmer of a spark in her eyes. This slight change transforming her in front of you with from consistently disinterested captain you know to a canny, analytical version of herself. She turns back to face you, pivoting the one hand she keeps on the railing. In that case, our priority is getting this back to Europa Colony where it can be investigated properly. The less time we have on board, the less risk it poses to us. Chief Cathy's, I want those engines online now. Cadet Grange, I want Ensign Cruz's Juno fully operational and combat ready. If this decides to reactivate, I want to be ready for it. Lieutenant Icarus, I want you on active patrol until Ensign Cruz is out of sickbay. You, Rumney, and Cruz will be carrying out patrols around the clock until we dock Europa. This thing has shown itself to be full of surprises. Just because we can't see a way for the pilot to get out doesn't mean there isn't one. Carry out a normal patrol and then report back to me. I'll be in my quarters writing this thing up. Understood? Yeah, I'll probably be writing this report under a bottle of frickin' whiskey. Many of you snap to attention and throw a salute in perfect synchronization. Even the chronically fidgety Dalton manages a perfectly still professional countenance. Yes, ma'am! Yes, ma'am! Yes, ma'am! Very good. Dismissed. With a shove against the railing and the captain launching herself towards the hangar entrance and the three of you drop your stiff postures as soon as she's out of sight. Hell of a day, huh, Lieutenant? You roll your shoulders once again, trying to get rid of the stiffness that's working its way back into your neck. You smirk at the chief's question. She wasn't wrong, but at this point you felt you were running on fumes, driven by willpower alone. If you admitted to yourself that you were on the verge of collapsing from exhaustion, it wouldn't be long before it actually happened. I don't know about you, Chief, but this is what I signed up for. Is that right, Lieutenant? The Chief gives you a playful punch to the arm. In stark contrast to her grace earlier, this punch actually sends you spinning away in the low gravity. Requiring you to grab onto a nearby punch. Whee! Maybe not quite, you admit. Well, I signed up to make sure this dog's tail keeps wagging, and right now with the engines offline, that's not happening. So I'm gonna head back to the engine room. We've all got jobs to do. No time to stand around chatting if we want to get our unexpected passenger back to Europa Colony. This ship has super big engines that take like 6 hours to start back up, and we lost power earlier. So that is why the ship has no engines currently. Cadet! Chief! The main thrust module on Cruz's Juno is completely fried. Don't bother trying to salvage it. It's going to need a wholesale replacement, understood? Yes, Chief! Alright then, both of you, get to it. With that, the Chief launches himself off a nearby railing and towards the hangar entrance. Much like you had with the captain earlier, you watch as she disappears, relaxing slightly once she's out of sight. As you look around your surroundings, you see that Dalton has already made his way towards Hansen's Juno, leaving you alone. You kick off the catwalk and begin to gently drift towards the hangar exit, taking one last look back at the hangar before you leave. Aside from the sound of Dalton's exploratory tinkering and Hansen's Juno and the background hum of various air handling systems, the hangar was effectively silent. This made the side of the previously hostile machine weird. Still, the Chief seemed adamant that there was no chance it was going to go anywhere. Looking at it now, you have no reason not to believe her. And I mean, like, if it was going to go somewhere, do you really have the resources to stop it right now? Time for patrol, then. Jesus, we are finally... Oh, we have control back. That was a lot. Oh my god. You grab the railing and lean forward, shifting yourself into a position where you can view as much of the machine and surrounding mass foam possible. No signs of activity, no signs of life. Even though you've not been the one piloting, you can sense the thought too that no, just stay alive and show you how dangerous, how powerful. Bad meant for Dalton's foam rounds, how much longer would Hansen have been able to hold out? The fact that it had been almost unstoppable until suddenly deactivating it had it started to nag you. Had it really been stopped, or was there something else going on? Stay put marshmallow back. We are on our way to the mess hall, baby. We're even heading in the mess hall. The aroma of machine-made coffee and pancakes wafts down the far-side thoroughfare to your stomach, growing audibly. You don't realize how hungry you were until now, but with the scent of rich food in the air, your body begins to know, in certain terms, you are ravenous. Oh, hey, Haru. As you step inside, you see Ensign Rumney leaning back lazily in their chair, slowly picking their way through a stack of syrup-covered pancakes. Fork in one hand, cup of coffee in the other. They acknowledge you by looking over into the doorway and raising their cup of coffee slightly before returning to their meal. Before you can say anything, your stomach growls loudly again. A smirk appears on the pilot's face briefly, but is quickly dismissed as they go to take another mouthful of pancake. As they carry on eating, you decide to leave them to it for the time being and head to the room to take a look at the available options. These are available snacks. The offer of a chocolate bar seems appealing. You take your ID card out of your pocket, slide the machine, and take a selection. So, thinking about this game, you have a girlfriend. Her name is Cassandra Quinn. She loves chocolate bars. So you always want to have a chocolate bar on you to be able to give to her. Benmate, please. Yeah, we're making s'mores, baby. Mech s'mores. S'mores that make you go, gun, damn, that's good. Approaching the machine, you look over the list of menu options. You've been surprised when you first got on board. The choice was just extensive as machines on much larger ships. The problem was that all the choices made it difficult to decide what you wanted to eat. Spend a minute or two looking back at various menus we're narrowing it down to. You know what, chat? I think you've earned, after sitting through that incredible performance, I think you've all earned yourself a respite, a snack. I mean, I can already tell you're getting hungry in chat. You're already talking about it. So we're going to put together a quick vote here. And I think you know what it's going to be. Do we go with hamburger? Do we go with a nice plate of tacos? Or do those pancakes you smelled earlier smell even better than we think? Go ahead and vote now. Oh, a quick selection for taco there from one user. The vote is on. You have 1 minute to do this, so make sure to get to your chat box, look at the top of the chat window, and vote for the snack that you want the best. You want the most. Let's do this. I mean, if it's my choice, I'm going with tacos. That's just how I roll. A burger if it's In-N-Out. All right, right now it's tied between tacos and pancakes, with hamburger still in the race. I mean, like, I can still see both. Pancakes do sound really good, but tacos coming in with a new vote right now. Tacos, you can do a lot of things with tacos. You tell the machine to put all kinds of different ingredients on there. Maybe a little salsa, maybe a little picante. And the poll is over. Tacos is our winner tonight. So congratulations, chat. Congratulations, chat. You done well, and I think you deserve a nice heaping plate of taco. You select the tacos, and the machine immediately begins to emit a series of muffled mechanical noises. After a few minutes, the noises stop, and a hatch opens, presenting you with a plate of hard-shelled tacos. But if you're looking for a snack, why isn't the girlfriend on the list? Hybrid, please. This is a good Christian stream. Full course to the captain, Rand Davis. Down, bonk, bonk all of you. A swift bonk. You move from the machine and head down to the table, sitting away from Haru. Their silence gave you the impression that they weren't looking for a conversation. You were happy to respect that choice. Breakfast taco, the best of both worlds. I have pancake, I have taco. Dump taco into more taco. You pick up the first taco and making sure to keep the open angled upward. Take your first bite. The taco definitely tastes good. The hard shell, the remainder that you're holding, begins to crack and splinter. In an effort to stop the contents from falling, you spread your grasp over it, but you're left awkwardly holding a massive shell and filling. Oh, they're brittle tacos. You're trying to get a hold in the situation and find a way to get the rest of the taco in your mouth without dropping it everywhere when you realize Haru is staring at you. Oh, I hate these kind of situations. Looking from them and back to your ever crumbling taco, you sheepishly turn away, angling taco so that the loose filling slides into your mouth as soon as you relax your grip, followed by a massive shell fragments. With various taco components all over your mouth and hands, you clear your throat and do your best to brush them off. Haru continues to watch you wordlessly as you realize you've got 2 tacos remaining. They're just gonna stare at you until you eat this damn taco. Taking the second in hand, you're a bit more restrained with how you approach it, taking a few small nibbles at a time rather than large bites. Despite this approach, the shell almost immediately splinters in half, and you attempt to keep the filling contained, you're left awkwardly sandwiching the 2 halves together. Biggie looked like a bizarre form of praying. Oh. You have a good night too, Eon Digital. Thank you so much for coming over in that raid. And also, Viking Blonde, I don't know if you're still in here, but if I don't get a chance before you go, I hope you have a fantastic GDC. I don't know when you're going to be leaving for that, but I hope it's a good one. Brushing your hands and face as free as taco fragments as you can take the final taco in hand. This time, you simply turn away from the instant and scoff the whole thing. Wait. So the whole situation is just like, like that's what's happening right now. Haru makes the hamburger option awkward too. Oh, Noramon's gone through this. Brushing your hands and face as free of taco fragments as you can, take the final taco in hand. This time you simply turn away from the instant and mix off the whole thing. As you turn back, you see Haru sipping from their coffee, a wide smile spread across their face. You know, Lieutenant, I think you're the first person who's ever treated me to dinner and a show. Should Commander Quinn be worried? As you brush the remnants of that final taco into the plate, you mumble a vague acknowledgement before taking it back to the machine and placing it in a different slot. As good as they tasted, you knew you could never order tacos while someone was in the mess hall ever again. This is what crisis control skills look like, baby. Although Haru is keeping themselves right now, you feel that things away, bro. It'd be good to check in with everyone. You pull the seat next to the pilot, it gives you a flicker of recognition. And so, Romy, how you doing? Probably better than you after that landing, Icarus. Didn't think I'd be seeing you out of the sick bay so soon. Yeah, well, I was lucky that. So is Hansen out too? Oh no, he's being seen by the doctor. When I left, he was taking in him in the surgery wing. Something about artificial ossification? Damn! How did he manage to go and break something that seriously will steer up and about without a scratch? Well, next time you see him, make sure you give him the thanks he deserves for getting you out of the situation alive. If it wasn't for his piloting, this whole ship would be space dust right now. You roll your eyes across your arms. You know they're not wrong, but thought of actively thanking Hansen for something. Yeah, I'll let him know. Haru returns their attention to the pancakes, continuing the meal. You sit there for a bit longer as the silence drags on. You decide you probably got as much conversation with Haru as you're going to. You go walk away, you hear the sound of Haru's chair as it scoots along the floor, causing you to turn back. I'm serious, Lieutenant. Make sure you tell him. You look at Haru for a moment and then mentally shrug as you turn away again. I heard you the first time, Ensign. Don't worry. As well, you should freaking thank him. He saved your ass. All right. Can I? You quickly cycle through the various systems in your terminal, checking that everything's working as normal. As until you enter your credentials, check your electronic mail. Jeez, what's going on? You try selecting various functions, but nothing responds. In a panic, you mash the keyboard, but nothing works. Then, as unexpectedly as it started, the noise ends. What was that all about? Make a few more experimental choices, and everything seems to be working as normal again. Well, I guess that's something to ask Chief about. Alright. Apparently our freaking comms don't work. Oh, oh. No, come on. You've got a patrol to finish. No. I was falling asleep. Am I allowed to just walk into the captain's quarters right now? You approach the captain's door with a sense of trepidation. You haven't finished your patrol, but for some reason you find yourself drawn to her quarters. You're entirely sure why you've come here. Maybe, despite everything you know about the captain, you're looking for a figure of authority to reassure you about the Gundog situation. But you have your doubts. The captain's laconic ways and swift decisions give you the impression that there's more capability to her than she's letting on. You want to talk to the captain to reassure yourself that's the case. So you consider your intentions, you reach out and knock briskly on the door. You wait a few seconds, eventually hear the muffled voice of the captain within. Enter. You press a button on the terminal door and it slides open, allowing you to step inside. Ah, our old pal Space Whiskey. That'll help. As you enter, take a deep breath of the air and preparation to mellow door you've encountered the last time you've been in this room. Last time I was in here, it was nothing but freaking horrible vomit smells and really stale whiskey. Oh. Hey, have a good one, Noramon. Thank you for joining. And by the way, you should check back next week, because I'm pretty sure I'm going to be continuing this at that time. Same 8 p.m. PST time. Same 8 p.m. PST place. Because I am having a blast doing this, and I'm killing my voice, so I'm probably not going to be streaming too much longer. Fortunately for your nose and your lungs, the reactivation of the Gundog's life support systems included the air scrubbers. Though the corners had smelled unpleasant last time you were here, it wasn't due to eating that had stuck around, so now the atmosphere at the facility is do your best to exhale slowly. Air scrubbers are good. Ah, Lieutenant. You stand to attention as the captain acknowledges you, although she doesn't give you her full attention, so she continues to type something into her terminal. I take it you finish your patrol? She strikes a final key and you hear the mechanical repetition of a printer from somewhere on the far side of the desk. No, not yet, ma'am. Captain remains silent. She leans across to one side of the desk and you hear the tearing of perforated paper. Continue to watch as she continues away with a series of pages, where yet they've been neatly punctured with a row of small pinprick-like holes. She officially concertinas the pages together and then places them in a drawer. With a click that she locks the drawer, finally turns to full attention to you. Is there an immediate issue, Lieutenant Icarus? I know you've just discussed it in the hangar, but what do you make of that craft? Do you know if it's Terran or Martian, or... I can't say anything about that machine for certain, Lieutenant. Your yourself deflates slightly. It appears your desire for clarity answers a reassurance. Would go unsatisfied. Beyond what we know about it from our engagement and what you, Chief, could... no information. To be frank, my main concern is not what this thing is, where it came from, or why it's there, but simply how quickly you can get to a Europa colony and out of the hangar. I'm sure you're of the same mind on this, Lieutenant. Yes, ma'am. Very good. Is there anything else? I thought now would be a good time to go over what happened on aboard the O'Brien. Is there something you forgot to tell me during the early debriefing, Lieutenant? Once it was true that you had been given the captain to break down the events, as he had been specifically, there hadn't been much more to the conversation than you reported the facts. Captain come up with any countermeasures or preparation to ensure the same fate that befell the O'Brien's crew when having the Gundog. No, ma'am. I was just wondering if there had been any thoughts about any protective measures we might be able to keep our crew safe. Lieutenant Icarus, from what I've been told, the O'Brien's crew, the exception of the Dr. DeBoer, had been neutralized at their posts, correct? Yes, ma'am. With that in mind, alongside the fact that we don't know what this thing is, how it operates, with the extent of its abilities, I don't see much point in trying to come up with the countermeasures and weapons we don't know exist. Do you, Lieutenant? You're a little bit shaken by the captain's apparent indifference to the threat of the machine currently sat in the hangar. Then he couldn't really argue with the logic either. It is what it is. No, ma'am. Precisely. For now, we're stuck with whatever this craft is, and our communication system's out of action, but we have no choice to carry on as best we can. Do you disagree with this course of action? Realize that she's right. For the time being, you've got no way of knowing what the machine can do. No, ma'am. Well then, unless there's anything else. What's going to happen to Europa colony? In the nature of our cargo, I imagine that the Gundog will be isolated before we even reach Europa and the crew removed. From my knowledge of the JCF review process, we expect that after, there will be a lengthy debriefing which will be accompanied by a full review. It's likely that will be held separately until they can be confident that none of the crew can be connected to the craft or the loss of the O'Brien. If they come to that conclusion, we'll still remain under supervision, but with the freedom of the colony until the higher-ups are happy, there's no need to follow up. If they don't decide that, Well, I suppose one way or another we can look forward to an extended period of leave. Or that's in a holding cell or on a Europa colony is what's decided by the investigators. Smirk. He shuddered at the sight of the captain's wry smile. It was an expression you rarely saw, and given the discussion, it alone would make you feel at ease. So help continue, Lieutenant. Yes, thank you, ma'am. Good. Nothing further. Actually, ma'am, I think that's everything I wanted to go over. Very good, Lieutenant. Dismissed. Well, we had a nice little conversation there. Oh, Cassie, how do you input the password to... We're gonna go say hi to our girlfriend. You quickly glance around the room and see that Cassie isn't here. It means she's likely still in sick bay. Look across the terminal, underneath everything, it's active. That's weird. Cassie's not been discharged from the sick bay, so she could have come here to access the terminal. I wanted to check her terminal too, because we keep seeing her damn profile at a bunch of different places. So what is this? As you take a closer look, you can see that both of the emails and personal logs are open. Why would these be open? The command inputs in the keyboard. You close down the active session to shut the terminal down. Yep. By the way, this is me and her earlier on in our careers on our first date. Ugh. Alright, fine. Move out to the crew quarter. We want to carry out secure patrol with the captain. With that, the speed was going to the hangar that make fire control was your next stop. Oh, I was supposed to come here first. They step in the small room. You're surprised as Dylan turns around immediately. Hey, Lieutenant, they sent you to check up on me? Just a standard security patrol, D's. How's it all going? Normally placid, warrant officer rolls his eyes, theatrically slipping back in his chair and gesturing to the monitors all around him with visible frustration. Oh, you know, great. I've been ordered to remain on high alert, but the issue with the long-range targeting system is even worse than before, so I can't actually do anything unless we've got a target in visual range. Which means I've got to keep looking at every one of these screens all the time and nothing else. So, you know, living the dream. What's wrong with the long-range system? As if I know! Same thing as before, just worse. That's how the enemy got the drop on us. We didn't know they were there until they were right on top of us. Otherwise, I might have been able to get some shots in from the main guns. Might have been able to do something against that machine at least. Not like the point defense cannons were any use. I swear, I almost got it so many times, but it moved faster than the cannons could. And even when I tried to lead the target, it was too erratic to figure out where it would be. Ugh. With a groan, Dylan slides further in the chair and kicks off the floor, setting the chair spinning in a slow circle as he rotates and glances over all the monitors, returning back to you. But yeah, anyway, the long-range targeting system is almost completely useless right now. It's been fuzzy since this morning, but it got way worse when that thing showed up. I've tried to ask the chief to take a look at it, but she's still busy with the engines and everything else going on, so like, looks over the top of his glasses at you and shrugs. It is what it is. You know, it do be that way. Dylan makes another rotation, this time gently brushing his hands over the target system control, shifting their focus slightly and rotates past them. So what's up with you, Lieutenant? Got pretty gnarly out there, huh? You alright? Take a moment to rub your neck. You notice it beginning to stiffen and the pain creeping in around the edges. Hopefully our doctor had given you a hold out a few more hours. Yeah, not bad. Dees, thanks for asking. That's good, yeah. I can see Hansen's judo through the cameras, pulling some pretty sick maneuvers. He must have really been hanging on in there. You think back how you've been thrown around the cockpit by some of Hansen's stunts. The experience of cleaning the temporary passenger seat wasn't one you wanted to relive soon. You're not wrong. Things got pretty wild in there. I'm just glad we made it back in one piece. Yeah, I'm, so I couldn't do more to help you with the gun dog's weapons, you know? Just everything was way too slow. You smile and move your hand subtly to dismiss Dylan's concerns. Don't worry about it, Dees. We couldn't do much against it either. I don't think there's anything on board that could have taken that thing out. Yeah, you might be right, huh? Side takes between the two of you. You're about to make your excuse to leave before Dylan leads toward the seat, looking like dead in the eyes and speaking in a hushed tone. So, like, what is that thing, Lieutenant? What happened on the O'Brien? Is it Martian? Terran? What's the deal? Have you got the pilot yet? Place your hands on your hips before shifting your weight on one foot and crossing your arms instead. What's going on? What you talking about? Exhaling deeply, you break the eye contact and look around the room by the monitors. Finally look back at Dylan is staring at you. Honestly, Deez, got no idea. All I know is that it blew the O'Brien to pieces and then came for the gun dog, and nothing we've seen has been able to scratch it. That's a loud sigh. Great. Okay. Well, thanks anyway, sir. Guess I better get back to these monitors in case another one comes out looking for its friend. Sure, I'll check in on you later, Deez. With that, Dylan turns back to the wall of monitors and you watch him beginning to idly prod the controls, adjusting and shifting views on some screens and altering the focus on others. I see. Alright, I'm going to move to the central hub here. And we are going to take this opportunity to be done for the night, because it is midnight here, and my throat is starting to freaking go. So we are going to go ahead and hit a quick save. Ba-boom. Man, we are in Chapter 7. Whew. That got intense. Like, oh my god, that firefight, man. I was in there. I was just focused on that. Main menu. Let's get that main theme going. Heck yeah. That was utter chaos. We got into a hangar bay. A robot stared back at us. We were like, friend or foe? And then it started to freaking load up its weapons. And then we had a space fight. God, there was so much crap that happened. But first of all, I just want to say a big thank you to everybody who joined tonight. Thank you so much to Viking Blonde for the raid earlier. And all the new people who were hanging out. Like, y'all are great. I appreciate all of you. Letting you know that next week we're probably gonna have Wednesday Minecraft again with Geek Chat Show and Neon Blur, their weekly thing. If I have a Friday stream, this will be the Friday stream. But next Saturday, March 22nd, will be a special event stream. It will be me and Gin playing Overcooked 2 in order to benefit for the Fred Hutch Cancer Center and the Cookie Brigade. We will be raising money to help fight cancer. We hope to see you there. We're gonna be playing food-related stuff because Cookie Brigade is the ones who are behind it. I'll have more information on that for you. You can check us up on our Discord, or you can follow the channel, or check me out on Blue Sky at Icarus. Announcements will be there and everywhere. Thank you, Red Davis. I really need to have a Blue Sky one too for myself. But yeah, that's what's kind of going on. I've been streaming for almost 4 hours, and about 15 seconds will be 4 hours. I am tired. My voice is tired. It's been a long day today, so I'm just gonna go ahead and say goodnight. You all are fantastic. Love you all. I hope to see you next week. Again, make sure you're following the channel if you're not already. Keep an eye out for announcements about the charity next Saturday, the charity event next Saturday. And yeah, that's it. Have a good one, everybody. Bye.